Bounce House, we're in Orlando for Big 12 college football on Fox. It's Utah and UCF as the holiday season gets started tonight. While we're in a bit of the shopping spirit, well, an early gift could go a long way for these two programs. Students are fired up. He's Robert Smith. My name is Trent Rush. Happy with you here in Orlando for the final game of the season for both of these teams. It's a nice night here in Orlando, 58 degrees, 77% humidity, a little bit of a wind, but just a nice evening. It was a little chilly earlier today, but the skies have cleared, and we're excited for some football here to close out the season. Kyle Whittingham, 20 years he's been the head coach at Utah, and maybe some questions if there's going to be a 21st season with the head coach in waiting, Morgan Scalley, and then Gus Malzahn in his fourth year has been through a whole lot this year, changing play callers. He gave up offensive play call duties, had to fire his defensive coordinator earlier this year. Both teams on their fourth quarterbacks, and neither is going to a bowl game, as that 3 consecutive bowl game streak will be snapped this season for Gus Malzahn's team. Utah comes into this game having lost 7 in a row. UCF has dropped 7 of 8. But trying to finish the season on the right foot tonight, Robert.
Yeah, and we know that the fortunes of coaches and of programs, of course, they rise and fall with the performance of their quarterbacks. And really amazing that the 2 only teams in the country that have started 4 quarterbacks this season, or I guess tonight will be the 4th starting quarterback for Utah. Both of those teams in this game.
Relatively unimaginable these two programs are where they are, considering Utah started the year 4-0, UCF started the year 3-0. But to this crowd, the fans here in Orlando tonight, none of that matters. They're excited to send off their seniors on senior night and keeping an eye on R.J. Harvey, the star tailback for the Knights, who's back to return the opening kickoff. Utah won the toss. They chose to defer to the second half.
Yeah, R.J. Harvey, man, Mr. Orlando, right here from Edgewater High School.
I know he always has the biggest entourage as far as the family goes, but you can make the case, Robert, outside of Ashton Genty at Boise State, R.J. Harvey might be the next best running back in America.
Yeah, really a lot of fun to watch this guy. He reminds me of Saquon Barkley. I want to hear people go crazy. He's not at Saquon Barkley's level. But, you know, there are a lot of ways to make people miss, right? You can shake guys, you can run by guys, you can run over guys. R.J. Harvey has all of that in his game and leads the nation this season, 49 runs of at least 10 yards. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Dylan Risk is the quarterback. The redshirt freshman, also a Florida guy, has started the last 3 games and has been an efficient game manager. And we've seen this passing attack for UCF that's really struggled this year has been a lot better with Risk under center. He's in the pistol set here with a man in motion. His first play of the game is going to be a give up the middle. And they go to R.J. Harvey, who pushes his way forward for a big gain, 8 yards on the first play of the ball game.
Yeah, tremendous push from that offensive line. You get a guy like R.J. Harvey up to that second level, barely touched, and he's going to do some damage for you all day.
So a second and short, right back to Harvey goes UCF, and he's got the first down. Boy, when you have a running back like that, short yardage situations, you know where it's going, but good luck stopping it.
Yeah, almost automatic with a guy like that. And of course, you see R.J. Harvey, sometimes he'll be lined up wildcat, taking the direct snaps. The guy really can do it all, and he's just an absolute workhorse as well. First guy in, last guy out every day.
They set the tone for this program. They're trying to send him off right. This time, play action, looking over to the left side for Kobe Hudson. A little bit of contact, goes incomplete. That was Smith Snowden in coverage.
Yeah, 2-on-2 crime right there. Kobe Hudson, get a little bit of hand fighting here. You see him, he's going to push off on Snowden. Gets a good release there. Snowden really in good position. Kind of got his eyes around a little bit early, though, and in the wrong direction. Not a terrible throw, but Hudson just couldn't adjust to make the catch.
Second and 10, Risk. This time a dart over the middle to Chauncey Magwood, who hangs on for the first down before he's taken down by Karine Reed.
Yeah, Karine Reed is a beast on that defense, but I love the rhythm, which with Dylan Risk got rid of that football. That's when he's at his best. And of course, with young quarterbacks, you're always going to go through some growing pains like he did a week ago.
Tight end Randy Pittman was in motion Risk going to keep this one himself, has a little space on the left side, goes high, stepping out of bounds, trying to show off, hey, I'm an athlete too.
You saw that high step, man. That was hilarious. Just nobody around him either. He might have just told his friends that he was going to bust that high step if he broke into the open, because it certainly wasn't influencing anybody. But that's part of his game, man. That's what makes him dangerous as well, when he hangs on to the ball on those zone reads.
2nd and 3. This is Miles Montgomery in the backfield behind Dylan Risk.
Miles Montgomery will get the ball back to the officials faster than any back you've ever seen.
This time they go play fake again to the left side. A lot of jersey right there, but Pittman gets hit hard there. Teo Johnson was there. Pittman is down, and flags everywhere.
Yeah, and I think Teo Johnson is going to be in danger of a targeting call here. Defenseless player. When he's defenseless, doesn't matter if it's with the crown of the helmet. Any hit to the head or neck area is going to be targeting, and something that this defense can ill afford. A lot of young players back there in that secondary for Utah.
On top of the targeting, there was a lot of hand fighting.
Personal foul, targeting, defense. Play is under review.
So with the targeting call, we'll take a look at this, and you can see where Johnson comes flying into the end on Pittman.
Boy, that's textbook targeting right there. I know Dean's watching this one as well, but all the indicators, and actually it looks like he gets with the crown of the helmet as well. Of course, with a defenseless player, though, just has to be head or neck area.
Yeah, here it is live as the contact comes in. A violent hit for sure. Let's welcome in Dean Blandino. Dean, it looks like all the video we've watched this year, that was pretty much textbook targeting. Is that how you see it?
I agree. You've got a defenseless player. The defender leads with his head. He's attacking with force, makes forcible contact into that head-neck area. To me, this is targeting, and replay should confirm this.
Appreciate that, Dean. And, you know, they put in targeting, and there have been a lot of questionable ones that happen. Just about every game, it feels like you're looking at this review, and some are clearer than others. I got to tell you, this one looks pretty clear, Robert.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. That's targeting. And, of course, with the head being down like that, you know, this isn't just about helping out the offense. And I know a lot of people are critical of these targeting rules, especially with the players being thrown out of games. But you just really need to get those kind of hits out of the game, especially for these young players. And we know that players have been paralyzed from hits like that, but you definitely want to get them out of the game. And I know it's tough, right? It's tough to have a player out for an entire game.
There is no targeting on the play.
Woo! Wow. So no target. Dean, what do you think of that?
I disagree. Look, they have to be 100% certain, so obviously replay felt that they couldn't confirm contact to the head neck area, but that's targeting. That's the hit we want out of the game, and replay needs to confirm that.
Appreciate that, Dean. Very clear right there. Jakari Brown will be the quarterback here. Third and 3 on the opening drive for UCF in Orlando, Florida. Welcome to Fox College Football on a Friday night in the Big 12. R.J. Harvey, the star tailback for UCF, picks up the first down, one of the leading rushers in America. You can make the case outside of Ashton Genty. R.J. Harvey is America's next best running back. And with Robert Smith, my name is Trent Rush, as we are seeing two programs that would like to finish the season with some success. It's been a tough go for both down the stretch. Jakari Brown, who's the backup quarterback they use a lot of times in more wildcat situations, completing a pass here to the left side, and Johnny Richardson able to fight for that first down.
Yeah, and I like this call by offensive coordinator Tim Harris. As you mentioned, having Jakari Brown in there, who's one of the 4 starting quarterbacks that we've seen for UCF this season. Normally he's running the football, but did a nice job that time, just a little catch, quick throw to the outside, and here he stays in. Watch his legs out to the right side potentially here.
So 1st and 10, a flag comes flying in, and that's going to be a false start against UCF. This
false start.
Knights program.
Offense, number 4, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Going to be on Chauncey Magwood. He wanted to get a quick start on that one. It must have been a pass. He was trying to get downfield.
You can see Gus Malzahn, the head coach for UCF. He's taken this team to a bowl game each of his first 3 years. It's not going to happen this year, not going to happen for either team. The Knights have dropped 7 of 8 coming in. Utah's lost 7 in a row. They're trying to finish the season strong here on Big 12 college football in the final game of the year. That was Miles Montgomery, one of 4 tailbacks the Knights will feature tonight.
You can see that left side of that offensive line. Got a little full counter going there with Adrian Medley and Amari Kite pulling around to the right side, leading up for Miles Montgomery. It's always tough on defenses, man. You get those offensive linemen moving. They're like moving gaps. And this defense, of course, led by Morgan Scowie, head coach in waiting. Tremendous defensive coordinator. He's been with this program for 17 years. Does a great job with those guys.
Here's 2nd and 12. This is the 10th play of the drive, and there goes a timeout called by UCF. Their first of the evening. This is the best on best, right? This is UCF's offense, 4th best rushing team in the country, best in the Big 12. Utah's defense has been pretty good. They just had trouble punching it in. We have a fun one tonight in Central Florida. Timeout on the field. We will take one as well. It's Big 12 college football, UCF and Utah here in Orlando. And we're going to stay here through this timeout as Gus Malzahn, the head coach at UCF, trying to get this Knights program back on track as best he can. And then there's Kyle Whittingham. 20 years he's been the head coach at Utah. And you mentioned Morgan Scowie, the head coach in waiting. For Kyle Whittingham, many questions. Maybe this his final game.
Yeah, and he said he's going to wait until after this game is over. And he said it's not about what's best for him. It's about what's best for the program. And, you know, it's not just something that coaches say. It's what they live in the case of a Kyle Whittingham. And I just love what he says about the program and players coming in. He says, you will become us. We will not become you. Of course, Kyle Whittingham, his father was a coach. He knew early on he wanted to be a coach and been around it a long time, and he's been doing a great job.
What a 20 years it has been for Utah football. This year, one of the rare disappointing seasons the Utes have had as Fano comes in for the tackle, but a flag on the field.
See if they get a hold here on Pittman.
Offense, number 5, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
You like your tight ends to get in there on the blocking. You just don't want them holding. You see Pittman with a big smile right there. He's like, hey, man, get us matched up against those big defensive players. Got to do what you can.
Pittman was hit hard earlier on this drive on a play that was initially called targeting that would be overturned after video replay. Able to stay in the game, and now a 2nd and long here. 22 yards to go for Risk over the middle, able to find Kobe Hudson to gain 12 yards and get the Knights back in business before Elijah Davis took him down.
Tremendous throw from Dylan Risk right here, and of course, the youngster, the redshirt freshman, getting more comfortable, and you love to see that. Just set your feet in the pocket, throw with some anticipation, and Kobe Hudson, one heck of a target, still 3rd and 9.
Clearly their top target. That's his 35th consecutive game with the reception. He has been a mainstay for this offense that's had a hard time with the passing game. There goes some pressure, and the ball is free. Utah trying to scoop it up. Risk fighting for it back. It's still loose. And Utah has it. A long drive for UCF ends in disaster.
This is what you get from young players sometimes. Dylan Risk shows the athleticism, tries to escape the pocket, but it's a Utah defense like Eric B. and Rakim getting paid in full. They'll have the ball when we get back.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. UCF in Utah tonight in Orlando, as we get a chance to meet this Utah offense for the first time after UCF put a long drive together, 11 plays, 5.5 minutes, but it ends in a fumble. And now we meet quarterback Luke Batari, who began the year as the 5th stringer. He's the 4th quarterback to play for Utah this season. The senior from San Mateo, now going to lead this Utes offense.
Yeah, and I love listening to offensive coordinator Mike Pajakian when he was talking about Batari, and he said he's that guy in the meeting room when somebody didn't know an answer, the quarterbacks, they'd always look to him.
Pass to the left side is caught by Dorian Singer. Get a chance to see this Utah offense on this offensive line.
Yeah, and I think that offensive line, you look at those guard spots. Keith Olson got the start a week ago, and Moiai started that right guard starting 2 weeks ago. They've been pretty solid at every other position, and Zacharias Williams, just a true freshman, but he's that guy they say that's really developing. And, of course, Dorian Singer, number 3, the go-to target most of the time for the Utes.
The Utes offense has been the point of struggle for much of this season. Strong carry over to the right side by Zacharias Williams right on cue. Picks up a big gain on 2nd and 4. 17 yards to move the sticks.
That was not planned, but what a cut by the youngster. You love that from your freshman wide receiver, just getting vertical. You can see he's got speed to burn.
Williams has 4 catches on the year. They've all been in the last 2 games. So he has come on in the second half, late in the year, trying to make a statement for the future. By the time he gets to game number 12, freshmen aren't really freshmen anymore. The play-action rollout goes incomplete from Batari.
He was trying to get the ball there to Dell and Bentley. Bentley with that little tight end release right there. It looked like he didn't even think that the ball was meant for him. Didn't try for it. And, of course, this is going to be the question with Luke Batari. Remember, he got the start in the last game a year ago against Colorado. He only threw the ball 10 times in that game, had 2 rushing touchdowns. But here on the road against this UCF defense that normally does such a great job stuffing the run, he's got to make some plays in the passing game.
Handoff goes to Micah Bernard, the leading tailback for Utah. The senior from Long Beach, California, is tackled by Najee Kelly. Brings up a 3rd down after a gain of 6.
Yeah, Bernard's a great story. Started the night only 78 yards short of 1,000. This is a guy that played defensive back in the Rose Bowl at one point. Tremendous player. Big 3rd down opportunity early here for the Utes.
Utah will mix and match athletes, offense, defense, whatever you played in high school, it doesn't matter. But you're right, this is a big 3rd down. They go back up the middle to Bernard. This is going to be very close right there at the line.
And I think that's one of those calls that they had their minds made up that they were going to be going for it. You know, it's funny that these analysts that these coaching staffs use, they say, okay, we're going to be green at 4, green at 5. That means the yards to go on 3rd down. I think that was clear.
Injured player. Put the ball.
With an injured player,
I think that's Bernard
on the field. It appears so. It's yeah, it is Bernard who's slow to get up. Boy, the injury bug has bit Utah so hard this season. See the C on the jersey. The C has gone around at Utah. It's been different captains one after another, and now the senior, what could be his final game, fighting to try to stay in there, knowing his team needs him. Want to finish the year off on the right foot.
Boy, you just hate to see that. Hate to see that with any player, but a guy like Bernard that's just meant so much to this program for so long. Looks like he's walking that thing off. You know, sometimes you get popped in there and just loosen it up a little bit with a few steps, and hopefully that's the case. He looked like he was putting weight on that thing, getting off the field, so hopefully we'll see him back out there again.
Bernard's 7th year in the program.
That's right, 7th year in the program.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a year 8, but as Luke Batari comes back out, trying to get a 4th and short. Less than a yard to go. It's Mitchell in the backfield behind him. Utah's converted just one of their last 9 4th downs, and now a flag on the field.
Well, it looked like the defense jumped. Oh, going to be a false start.
False start. 70 offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
It's not just my headset, right? Like his mic is not working right there.
3rd and 4
Oh,
downs.
there you go.
Movement up front by Keith Olson.
Keith Olson.
And this has been the struggle all year, is Mike Bajakian frustrated. 3rd and 4th down has been a huge problem for Utah. This is going to be a 37-yard kick for Cole Becker. Colorado transfer, 17 of 23 on the season.
Got it.
And it's good.
Nice soft draw in between the posts.
So Utah gets points on their first drive, 3-0 Utes. Fox College Football is sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. The Knight happy to see just 3 points for Utah on that opening drive. They've scored on their opening drive 3 straight games, as Luke Batari on a short field able to manage 27 yards before the made kick from Cole Becker. But you don't like seeing the kickers getting his leg checked out. Utah's had enough injuries this year.
Boy, you hate to see that. And Kyle Whittingham said in his press conference a week ago that he felt like it was in the twilight zone from all the injuries that they've had this season.
So this is freshman Trey Coleman, the backup kicker. R.J. Harvey will take that kick from and get this UCF offense back at the 25-yard line. Dylan Risk was managing that UCF offense so well in that first drive, 11 plays, but the fumble at the end just so costly. And that summed up the Knights' season so far, Rob.
Yeah, it certainly has. But you know what? It sums up quarterback play in general, especially quarterback play from young quarterbacks. It's what you're going to get sometimes. They're going to have their ups and downs and just have to be secure with the football. And Dylan Risk was making a nice athletic play, escaping the pocket, and just didn't secure the ball, which is job number 1, right? Like, nobody in the history of the game has ever scored without it.
Under the tutelage of Gus Malzahn, it's the offensive wizard his whole career. And you know Gus's teams run the ball well. UCF certainly does. Top 5 of the country, but Tafuna able to stop that run of Harvey after a gain of a yard.
Yeah, defensive coordinator Morgan Scally, he talks about those guys in the middle, Tunavasa and Tafuna. And Tafuna, he's that guy, man. He's just always bringing the juice.
Harvey just fighting, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. Van Fillinger, the senior from Draper, Utah, came in there to close up that hole.
Van Fillinger, we're happy to have him back. He didn't play a week ago against Iowa State, and they call him the mayor of Sac Lake City. Of course, Salt Lake City, Utah, being the home of the Utes. Clever joke, and we got a little bit of moisture in the air coming down here, partner.
Roll it over to the left side. A lot of open space for a pitch and catch and a first down over to Gerard Baker. 11 yards for the first down, getting the start, a 5th-year senior.
Yeah, nice throw here. And again, we talked about this rain just starting. And when you don't have it at the start of the game and you're just getting that moisture onto the ball, you have to be that much more careful with ball security. So watch the exchange from the center and the handoffs.
Risk looking over that left side, still looking left side, finds Kobe Hudson, who gets to the 45. Looks like he'll be just shy of the first down marker, but a 9-yard pickup. It was raining a little bit earlier today and during warm-ups, but once the game started, it cleared up, and now some of those showers are back.
Yeah, that's Florida for you. Lived here for 8 years. And Dylan Risk, I'm sure the UCF team is used to it as well.
Yeah, no problem handling a little bit of precipitation as Miles Montgomery, the Jacksonville native, gets the first down. Close to it anyway. He's actually going to be marked just shy.
Big third down, and Curry Brown comes onto the field at quarterback. Again, watch his legs.
Jakari made 2 starts earlier this season, had a tough time in the air. Just 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, but has been a quarterback that can run for them. 51 carries coming into this game, and we saw him take 3 snaps on the opening drive. 3rd and short, pistol set. Zone read, he goes up the middle, and Logan Fano there to blow it up.
Logan Fano, the brother Spencer Fano, the right tackle. See him just staying home on the backside, and he's feathering that. He's playing Brown and the back at the same time. Does a tremendous job shutting that thing down. Athletic family, man. You got like 5 uncles that played in the NFL. Some good genes right there.
So on the 4th and 3, UCF will punt. Fair catch being called at the 15-yard line, where Utah try to extend their lead. Coming up on the other side of this break, that Utah defense getting it done. Nice night in Utah, and a little drizzly here in Orlando. 3-0 Utah in the first quarter. He's Robert Smith. I'm Trent Reich. You know, you start a season thinking you got 5 quarterbacks, and that should be enough, especially when Cam Rising played in 2 Rose Bowls. Well, Kyle Whittingham has just seen him go down one after another. First it was Rising. Ward got an opportunity. So did Rose. Isaac Wilson, star freshman, he goes out last week. And now Batari, last man standing.
And this is the reason Kyle Whittingham thought he was in the twilight zone. Amazing that you go down to your 5th quarterback. And look, like Luke Batari, and obviously coaches say good things about him, but you're the 5th string quarterback for a reason. It's tough enough to win football games with your backup, let alone your 5th guy.
Hand off to Bernard up the gut. Pulleys his way through for a first down, a gain of 11.
Nice little cutback lane to the left. Just kind of washing everything down. Bernard's got all kinds of space. So those run fits from that 2nd and 3rd level become so important. You get beat on that defensive line, linebackers and safeties. You've got to get there in a hurry.
1st and 10 coming with Batari out of the shotgun. Another handoff. And a short gain here for Bernard. And if Batari goes down at some point tonight, Robert, I'm pretty sure Kyle Whittingham is just going to call up to the booth and see if the NCAA can get you a little bit more clearance. See if we can work something with the Ohio State transfer portal for you. It's that dire of a situation for Utah. It's wild.
How much do they pay him? Quarterback's making 7 figures now. It's unbelievable how the game has changed. And Kyle Whittingham was talking about that 180 degrees different, right? You know, with the portal, with NIL, and says openly, really, to get just a regular type quarterback, it's 7 figures.
That was Dallin Engerman who would get the start should it come to that. And getting dropped at the 30, coming up for the tackle, X-Ray Alexander, coming off an outstanding performance, but X-Ray delivering heat right there.
And he had 17 tackles a week ago. Really emerged. And no penalty there. Right in front of the official, he saw it. To that very last echo of the whistle. I guess the whistle echoes a little bit more in the rain. Big 3rd down here for Utah. They're getting loud at the bounce house.
We got a physical one in week 14. Had a targeting overturned to stay in the game, and then a no call there. Batari running out of time, dancing around the pocket, 3rd and long. There's a flag. He might have been out of bounds before he threw that anyway. And a flag in the backfield in the neighborhood of holding regardless.
Holding. Offense, number 55. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
Batari just nowhere to go with UCF bringing the pressure on 3rd and 5. That was an issue for them earlier in the year, but since making a change, the defensive coordinator, Addison Williams, done a really good job getting more heat from these Knights front 7.
Yeah, and Addison Williams, what a great story. You know, he called the defense, was defensive coordinator a year ago. Ted Roof became defensive coordinator this year, so he took the demotion, but was ready to take back over and be the defensive coordinator when Ted Roof was fired. He's done a great job with these guys in the last few weeks.
Caught at the 25, fielded by Mac McWilliams. Be able to skirt forward and get to the 33-yard line with a minute 22 remaining here in this first quarter. UCF getting the ball back, trying to make a push against this tough Utah defense. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for 160 years. 3-0 Utah here at the Bounce House. UCF, the rain is coming down here in Orlando. How about next Friday night on Fox? Ashton Jeanty and the 11th ranked Boise State Broncos seeking back-to-back conference crowns and trying to punch their ticket into the college football playoff. They're going to face either UNLV or Colorado State. Colorado State won today, so UNLV has to win tomorrow as they battle for the Mountain West Championship, with coverage beginning Friday at 7 Eastern on Fox.
How many did Jeanty get today?
226. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Just a whole
That's like 1,200 yards now.
There's KJ Jefferson. He was the starting quarterback for UCF at the beginning of the season. A transfer from Arkansas just didn't work out, and that's really changed the Knights' entire season.
It certainly has. Most difficult position to play, most difficult position to assess. Better make the right decisions.
Handoff to R.J. Harvey, who spins through a tackle, has a little bit of space and gets just shy of midfield before Corene Reed makes the tackle, but a 17-yard pickup for the senior.
Is R.J. Harvey a mutter? Looks like he's a mutter. Look at this, man. Get that nice lateral movement. Making some guys miss. See, I love running the football in conditions like this, man. And then you definitely have an advantage as a ball carrier because you know where you're going. And watch the slide at the end here. Like the nice baseball slide there. And you've called a few of those.
Yeah, why not? You know, get down and dirty, get the uniform. A little bit messy here. 50th time this year, R.J. Harvey has ran for 10 or more yards this season, by far the most in college football, more than some teams. As Miles Montgomery able to pick up about 1.5 yards. They'll call it 2.
Tremendous player, and Dylan Risk now. Remember, just the first year starting, third game starting. You go through the growing pains, but Tim Harris, the offensive coordinator, and remember, he took over the play calling duties during the season. Talked about these types of situations. This is where quarterbacks literally earn their money now on third down.
So they will let the clock run out to end the first quarter. We'll take a break. When we come back, 3rd and 4 coming up for UCF, trying to get on the board here in the season finale in Orlando. The Bounce House rocking tonight. Fox College Football is sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. Some of the fans here in Orlando trying to find some chicken and head for cover. You got some fireworks going on here. Enjoying what was a nice night that is turned to some mighty rainfall as we get ready for the beginning of the second quarter. UCF's 2 for 4 on third down so far. Pass over the middle. The fireworks still going off even as play happens, as the incompletion was targeted for Trent Whittemore, and Teo Johnson there to break it up.
Now watch the snap here. This is very important. When we talk about when the rain starts and you don't start the game with it and you're not getting those snaps pre-game with a wet ball. Of course, with UCF, they've been practicing it a lot. Watch the snap here.
It's Mitch McCarthy back. It's a good snap. McCarthy, the punter, is going to send this one into the end zone for a touchback. As we see Utah come back out, led by their head coach, Kyle Whittingham, for 20 years has been just a mainstay. Go back, Utah football. It's been 3 coaches since the late 80s, and Whittingham, 20 years, the man at the helm. It's in 2005, second longest tenured coach in the FBS, only behind Kirk Ferentz. Winning record, 19 of the 20 years. This is the 3rd time it's not happening for Whittingham. Maybe this is last game.
Well, what I loved in talking to him, you talked about the graduation rate, 96% graduation rate, and remember, those numbers lag back to the Pac-12. So all the smart kids at Cal and Stanford, Utah has been doing better than all of them.
Handoff over to the right side, goes to Bernard, who gets thrown to the ground by Ethan Barr. Lee Hunter there as well.
Ethan Barr, the senior, got married last summer. Delaney, she's on the soccer team. Came over from Vanderbilt with his degree. Played his high school ball down there in the Dallas area. Marcus High School, Flower Mound. Great player.
leading tackler for UCF, had quite a journey just to get to Orlando, as you were referencing. Vanderbilt pass over to the right side. Caught by Carson Ryan, out of bounds. Deshaun Pace there, but for Ethan Barr, transferred to Washington, arrives in Seattle New Year's Eve, was on the sidelines for the College Football Playoff National Title game a year ago. DeBoer gets the Bama job. Barr didn't want to take a chance on a new staff, so he reopened his recruitment in the portal. And you mentioned his fiance Delaney, young puppy. 2 weeks later, they move back across the country, and they come out east. And he ends up at UCF, and what an impact he has made on this defense. Batari gets hit from behind. Out of nowhere was Alexander. Ball came free, saved by Utah, but what a hit right there. Najee Kelly came up.
And Caleb Lomu, redshirt freshman at that left tackle spot, gets beat by Najee Kelly. And watch the use of the hands. Just pull a little bit and rip underneath. Get the win and get that hit on Batari before he knows it.
Caleb Lomu, the left tackle, got beat on the block, but able to save field position by recovering the fumble. Now 4th and 10, a punting situation. Pressure was on that punt. Fair catch called the 37-yard line by Mac McWilliams. Two teams trying to figure out their offense.
Full in the rain. I don't know if the cameramen get paid extra in these conditions, but I hope they do.
R.J. Harvey, the nation's 3rd leading rusher, 46 touchdowns, tied for the most in UCF history. The heart, soul, and star for the Knights. A senior in his final game. Risk under pressure, looking left side, trying to turn around and make that catch. There was Gerard Baker's. Rene Reed was there to turn the heat up on Risk.
Boy, and Risk, you just have to be really careful with the football, right? Like, you want to try and make plays, but don't make a bad play worse. You get pressure sometimes. It's best to just know when to fold them, right? And he just kind of threw that ball up there. Already has 1 turnover tonight.
His passing game has had enough struggle on the season. Kobe Hudson with a 10-yard pickup. 5th-year senior.
He's seen enough of Rene Reed. Rene Reed coming down blitz again, but nice job standing in there, delivering a nice ball to Kobe Hudson. Not easy in these weather conditions, and how does he get rewarded? They bring Jakari Brown back onto the field.
Hudson, a transfer from Auburn, has made over 40 catches this year. You know, the numbers have been a little bit down. The productivity hasn't been the same with the carousel at quarterback for UCF on the season. But Hudson showing a lot of maturity, hasn't complained about it. Speaking of the carousel, it's Jakari Brown, who tries to break off a run, stays alive, sheds the tackle, and able to pick up an extra yard before Teo Johnson finally able to bring him down.
Yeah, Jakari Brown takes a little book out of the page out of the R.J. Harvey book there. Nice tough run, breaks a tackle, gets an opportunity to stay on the field.
Now they'll line up Harvey as receiver, top of your screen. An empty backfield. There's Harvey in motion, back right behind him. They give to Harvey. He just fights, get back to the line of scrimmage, and there's that swarming Utah front.
All right, tremendous movement, and Liki Vimahi, he's a parent already, as you see a lot of times with Utah players. Tremendous player, but he's just got that great first step quickness to move laterally so well for a guy 6'4", 305 pounds.
Morgan Scally, who leads this defense for Utah, the head coach in waiting. 3rd down and 4. Risk puts it up in the air, incomplete. Hudson couldn't quite bring it in with Zamiah Vaughn right there to hit him as he was going out of bounds.
Boy, Dylan Risk makes a great throw right here, though. Kobe Hudson, see him work his way back to the outside, trying to be quarterback friendly. When Risk starts to scramble, just can't hang on to that thing. And you're right, partner. Jemiah Vaughn comes in, makes that hit. Just as Hudson's trying to bring that thing in, as he's bobbling it, Vaughn puts a hit, make sure he can't make the catch.
Another punt situation. Plenty of time for McCarthy with Singer back to call fair catch at about the 15-yard line. Slow and go for these offenses here in the rain in Orlando. 3-0 Utes here in the second. Fox College Football is sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Might need some of that all-wheel drive to get through the rain and the swamp. Here
the cheerleaders got their parkas on. Still doing the stunts, though. That's
got to keep the uniform clean, right? Got to keep the uniform dry. But, of course, come on, they're athletes. They'll play through it.
They get those gloves like the receivers have now.
Luke Batari back out under center for Utah. So they'll bunch it up here. Handoff up the middle is Bernard. It's brought down by Ladarius Tennyson.
Well, that's one where Tennyson's like, man, I've seen this on film. I know exactly what's coming right here. You see him come up from that second level of the defense. That's diagnosing quickly, pulling the trigger, and then executing perfect tackle.
Please start the play
See
clock.
that? Your fifth-year senior coming up and making a big play.
2nd and 9 for the quarterback, Batari, the senior from San Mateo, California, Sarah High School. With some legends. Handoff up the middle. 4-yard gain before Kelly and Alexander are there to greet him.
Yeah, and Addison Williams, the defensive coordinator, talking about their struggles on third down, and even though they've seen improved play out of their defense, still an area of concern on the season. Giving up 44%. Of course, Utah's offense not very good, only converting at 33%. But as it is with every team, it's how you perform on first and second down. Oftentimes, this is a fairly manageable third down, though, for Utah.
Batari looked to the right, brought it back down, now goes deep. Pretty good throw, but unable to make the catch. It was Dorian Singer who was fighting for some positioning. 3 and out.
A little bit confused by the route distribution on this one. I mean, you got a young quarterback like that, and you got a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Give him more options for shorter routes. I know Singer's a big playmaker, but you can see even on that throw right there, we know Batari doesn't have the biggest arm. Give him some options that are a little bit shorter, especially in these wet conditions.
So this is the 6th punt in as many possessions in this game, just 4 first downs in that time. Takes a Utah roll to the 37-yard line where R.J. Harvey and this UCF offense will get the ball back. Playing through some drizzly weather here in Orlando. 3-0 Utah. Look, a little rain not bothering anybody. Hey, it's time for our Pacific Life Game Summary. Pacific Life creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Well, here's this stat for a game summary. Utah has more punts, 3, than first downs, 2. It's been all about the defense. So.
Yeah, it certainly has. And ball security, of course, in these conditions, so important. And before the rain, really, that Risk fumbled that ball. But as the game goes on, it's about one defender slipping or one big turnover.
And that fumble is what led to the 3 points. Going up, trying to make the extra effort on that play was Kobe Hudson. Couldn't quite do it. He thought there should have been a flag.
Yeah, Jemiah Vaughn's going to be on the coverage right here, and Hudson's not going to be happy about it, but Risk makes a short throw. He goes up to make the catch, and you can see a whole lot right there. rules expert Dean Blandino might say something differently.
Delayed handoff to R.J. Harvey, who is just searching and searching and searching for space and able to pick up 2 yards. John Henry Daly.
Timeout for injured player.
Thinks that he got that ball out.
Timeout on the field at the end of that one with Harvey a little slow to get up, so he'll walk off the field, sit a play on 3rd and 8. Knights just 2 for 6 on 3rd down.
3rd and 8 for the Knights.
You said it before about young quarterbacks. Don't make a bad play worse. Good decision here in your own territory if you're Dylan Risk.
Over the middle, it's an interception. Boy, that was well overthrown to nobody. Taken away by Vaughn, and Vaughn's going to make it a house call. A pick 6 on 3rd and 8. 60 yards.
Remember, in these wet conditions, sometimes it's hard for a quarterback to get their grip perfect. And here you can see Dylan Risk just kind of floats this ball. He's trying to get it out to Whittemore. And Vaughn just sitting there saying, thank you for the gift. We talked about conditions like this, one little mistake like that just turns the tide. And that's 2 times now Dylan Risk has turned the ball over.
All of the offense for Utah in this game has been UCF unforced errors that lead to it. Coleman was the backup kicker. The freshman converts the PAT. 10-0 Utes. Robert, you warned us. You said, hey, don't make a mistake that could lead to something worse on 3rd down. Don't try to force it. Well, Risk did and paid the price.
Yeah, he certainly did pay the price. But you know what? This is a young quarterback, redshirt freshman, and this is a guy that was sitting on the bench, right? He's extra motivated. You want to go out there and you want to make those plays, but in your excitement as a quarterback, you can't play quarterback with reckless abandon. It has to be controlled aggression, and you know he's getting an earful on the sideline, and this is something that Tim Harris, the offensive coordinator, talked to us about. I mean, they're both kind of growing into their roles, right? With Harris just becoming a play caller a few weeks ago when Ted Roof was fired. Gus Malzahn decided to turn the play calling duties over to Tim Harris, and you know he's in his young quarterbacks here right now saying, hey man, look, I know that you want to make the big plays. I know that you want to try and make up now for the 2 mistakes that you made, but you have got to stay within the game plan and take what the defense gives you. And there again, you know, it's just tough. When it's wet like that, you don't quite get a perfect grip on the football. Thing just kind of floated on him.
Muffed at the 11-yard line, scooping it up was Ladarius Tennyson. And we'll take another look.
Boy, you just can't let that thing get into your pads. Just kind of misjudges it. More of a line drive than he was anticipating. That thing just bounces off those pads.
So a long way to go for an offense that's had a tough time already, starting at the 11-yard line. Over to Hudson. This time completed on a short game. Over Calhoun there. So 4 yards on that game to Hudson.
Well, I like that, though, by Tim Harris, right? Like, you try and get your quarterback settled after the 2 big mistakes and the turnovers. Get him some easy advantage throws, some quick completions. Just get him settled down a little bit.
Hand off to Harvey. Check that. That was Montgomery that had a bit of a seam and was able to blast through for a 1st down.
Running through tacklers, running through somebody's mouthpiece.
Miles Montgomery was 3rd running back at Cincinnati, making an impact for the Knights tonight.
Doesn't quite have the power R.J. Harvey has, but Montgomery's got those quicks. You miss tackle on him, it could be 6 real fast.
Montgomery back there again. Gets the give again. Picks up 3. Lander Barton with the tackle. So 2nd and 7 coming up for UCF, trying to avenge a pick 6 and get their offense going.
Yeah, and Barton had the pick 6 a week ago against Iowa State after picking off Shadur Sanders' first play of the game against Colorado a couple of weeks ago.
Well, misdirection of the backfield, a turn and heave downfield, and it's caught by Hudson. A long gain there, biggest throw of the night for Dylan Risk. 42 yards.
You talk about gunslinger. Watch Dylan Risk on this throw right there. All kinds of pressure in his face, and just want to try and get that completion. He knew that Hudson was behind the defense.
Quickly goes Montgomery, bouncing it out to the right side, pushed out of bounds.
And I love this series by Tim Harris. Obviously helped out by that long throw to Kobe Hudson right there, but really doing a nice job and getting the ball to the edge. And that's when you make those big guys run and you make the little guys tackle. As an offensive coordinator, that's what you want to do.
Harvey in motion. Risk looking his way, now looking downfield. Wide open is a man, incomplete. Was trying to find Gerard Baker, but led him too far, and it's out of bounds.
Well, Morgan Scally, defensive coordinator, does a tremendous job. And you can see Dylan Risk, he's going to try and get that ball to the middle of the field. But because of the alignment, the change in the defensive structure, Risk tries to make that throw a little bit late at that point. Couldn't keep it on the table. Brian Billick, my offensive coordinator, used to say, keep it on the table, son.
It's a keeper. And sliding for the first down, Dylan Risk.
Oh, he's going to be. They're going to mark him short because of where he started that slide.
Oh, you're right. They mark him at the 32. I think he thought he had the first down. Maybe lost sight of where the stick was. Also knowing that that defense was closing in.
You see where he starts his slide. It looked like he started to go head first there, but you can see right there that knee's down as well. I think that was a good mark by the official.
Timeout called by UCF, so Gus Malzahn and Tim Harris will try to draw up a 4th and 1.
UCF, their second of the half. 30 seconds.
So they'll have one remaining with 4:23. All right, now let's check in with Mike Hill to see what's going on coming up at halftime.
The thrill.
Coming up on the Fox College Football Halftime Show, Colorado is still alive for the Big 12 Championship. With Georgia look past Georgia Tech before next week's SEC title game. And Ryan Day aims to end his losing streak against his nemesis, Michigan, in the game. Trenton Robert, see you at the half.
Appreciate it, Mike. Looking forward to that. Chaos.
That's
in
tomorrow?
The Big 12. I figured you might know a thing or two. My partner aware of the big game, the game.
What do I know about the game? I'm 0-1-1 in that game.
Jakari Brown's going to be taking the snaps at quarterback here in the 8th play of the drive coming up.
He's getting the count in the huddle. Got it all figured out.
You know they're going to be hungry in Columbus tomorrow. It's been a while. Quick one here goes to R.J. Harvey, who has a seam on the outside. Harvey inside to the 10. Zamaya Vaughn finally with the tackle, but on 4th down, Harvey goes 23 yards.
And we talked about his ability to make people miss. I love the call here. You go with the quick toss, get it to R.J. Harvey, and everybody's just kind of frozen in there. R.J. Harvey not going to let somebody tackle him with one arm and take Zamaya Vaughn for a little ride, but Vaughn did a nice job saving 6 there.
You know Harvey's not going to go down quietly on his senior night. There he goes up the middle, gains 5 yards. So 2nd and goal from the 5 coming up.
Yeah, and Kobe Hudson, R.J. Harvey's roommate, and talked about just all the things that he's been through with a knee injury, transferred back in after playing quarterback.
Back to Harvey to the end zone. Touchdown, Knights. And R.J. Harvey now owns the touchdown program record, the 47th of his career.
What a tremendous story R.J. Harvey is, and an even better player. Talk about him being a better person. You can see right there, a little hezzy in the backfield, hops into the end zone. He's just such a dangerous player, and talked about him kind of getting that quarterback thing out of his system, transferring back in here to his hometown.
Dope semifinalist each of the last 2 seasons, one of the nation's best tailbacks, able to punch it in for UCF. And like we were talking about, senior night, final game here in Orlando. You know he's got every friend and family he's ever known is at this game tonight, battling the rain. He was going to put on a show.
Yeah, no question about it. And you know, now in the era of NIL, you know, you can buy those tickets if you can't get the comps. And it's funny, back in the day, man, we used to collect those tickets because they had free singles with cheese from Wendy's on the back, so we would collect everybody's tickets. Now, man, guys can buy their friends' tickets. It's cool, man. And just love seeing stories like that, though, of a guy, you know, right here from Edgewater High School, goes to Virginia to play quarterback, and he comes back, and boy, just what a player, man. And you know, I made the comparison earlier. Obviously, he's not as developed in his skill set as a Saquon Barkley, but everything that you see him do and everything that he does when you don't see him, I think it is important as well. They just talk about his work ethic. He's first guy in, last guy out. I know everybody talks about that. This is a guy that lives it, man. He stays in that weight room, and he's got all the tools. Can make people miss in a lot of ways, and just a tremendous all-around player.
Caps off the best drive of the ball game for UCF. This one's going to be fielded at the goal line by Smith Snowden, and Snowden will take it all the way to the 33-yard line.
The biggest rivalry in sports is here. Michigan versus second-ranked Ohio State in the game. Special 3-hour Big Noon kickoff starts at 9 a.m. Eastern. Coaches Sharon Moore and Ryan Day sit down for interviews, and the guys break down the playoff chaos. Then it's Michigan, Ohio State at noon, only right here on Fox.
Not missing that for anything. What a day on Fox tomorrow. That game to get the party started. A couple of really intriguing Big 12 games to follow as Micah Bernard dances his way through, cuts back and forth to get to the 40-yard line, pick up 6.
Yeah, Mackay was just doing a little bit of the duck job in there, man. Whatever it takes. But that's a great gain on first down, though. And we talked about Batari, and only 9 throws a week ago, but he was in late in that Iowa State game. I know that they've benefited from some turnovers. If they want to move the ball offensively, he's got to make some plays with his arm.
And off to the right side, back to Bernard, who's got a first and plenty more before Mac McWilliams made the tackle. Batari got that opportunity in the last game. Coming down the stretch, he had the tough call, the grounding, which hurt that drive, but he showed some promise and really brought a spark to the Utes in that second half.
Yeah, he certainly did. And, of course, he's so dangerous with his legs, and the way that they're running the football right now, he's going to keep one of these potentially.
Back to Bernard. Become the bell cow for this Utah offense on this drive to the 40. Will be just shy of the 6. Second and short coming up after the 2-minute timeout. Utah looking for a response, but UCF being led by R.J. Harvey. Just scored on the last drive. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. Throwing it back to where it all began for Kyle Whittingham as a head coach 20 years ago in the 2005 Fiesta Bowl. A co-head coach with Urban Meyer, who decided he went to Florida. The two were actually co-head coaches for that 05 Fiesta Bowl, which Utah won, beat Pitt, and started it all for Whittingham, who has built Utah into a power.
Yeah, he certainly has. And just love the culture that he's built. He's very proud of the composition of the team. He told us about this last week. Third white players, third black players, and third Polynesian players.
They're going to pass on 2nd and 1. Batari converts it over the middle. Able to find Williams. Dancing around, gets inside the 10, still spinning his way to the 7-yard line. And a 33-yard pickup for Batari.
Well, there's no substitute for live reps to develop quarterbacks, and Batari just does an excellent job standing in the pocket, delivering a nice throw to Williams. And we had mentioned earlier with the injury to Munir McClain, the wide receiver position, they were talking about Zach Williams and how he was going to emerge. You've seen that over the last couple of weeks. But a tremendous throw from Batari. Doesn't have the strongest arm, doesn't need the strongest arm. When you throw on time with that type of accuracy, you're going to do some damage.
1st and goal for Batari and Utah. Rolling to the left, throws to the right, finds the lineman. Flag is thrown at the 10. Got it to Spencer Fano, the big right tackle, freshman All-American a year ago.
And I think it was Jason Johnson.
Illegal touching. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Loss of down. 2nd down.
See if he was covered up on this play. He's on the line of scrimmage there.
Dean, what'd you see on that play?
So to me, this is designed to be a backward pass. Any player number 50 to 79 cannot catch a forward pass, and you can see 55. So the design of that play is really to be a backward pass. And unfortunately for Utah, went forward.
Appreciate that, Dean Blandino, our rules analyst tonight. Going to the right side as Batari completes the pass. And Carson Ryan kind of tiptoed to the end zone, but just shy.
Really mixed things up well on this drive. Money down, money area of the field for quarterbacks. We talk about it in the era of NIL, quite literally. Quarterbacks earn their money on 3rd down, red zone conversions, and end of half, end of game situations. This is all 3 rolled into one for Luke Batari. Guy wants to be a coach. Got to be a quarterback now and execute.
3rd down. Jump ball. End zone. Incomplete. Damian Alford the target with Jason Johnson all over.
Got to give your guy a chance, right? Like, I know you want to put it only where your guy can get it. Just give him a chance. And Jason Johnson, the true freshman there, does a nice job on the coverage. Just pushing him out of bounds, but Batari's got to keep that ball down just a little bit to give his receiver a chance to go up and snag that thing.
This is Trey Coleman, the backup kicker from 24 yards. Replaced Cole Becker earlier in this game. He made a 37-yarder, but that one from 24, good for Utah to extend their lead to 6. And in a game where we saw 6 straight punts, UCF gets into the end zone. Utah comes back and at least able to get some points, so you know they wanted more.
No question about it. And starting to dry out now. We haven't had the rain for a while, and anybody that's lived in Florida for a while knows you never know. Normally when it rains, it doesn't rain for very long, but if it's raining in a day, it's usually not the last time it's going to rain. You've got dry conditions now for UCF. How aggressive do you want to be? You got plenty of time, but only 1 timeout. We've seen some mismanagement of timeouts here in the last couple of days. Fortunately, Eberflus was let go, but that was a terrible decision in that game yesterday.
Yeah, Caleb Williams there at the end. Bears probably should have gotten a couple more looks, at least one more look. They didn't. You're right. Eberflus lost his job because of it. Time for Big Deals, sponsored by Walmart. Black Friday deals, shop now. And That last drive, a big deal getting the offense back on track for UCF. First 5 drives, just 93 yards, and then the last one, 89.
And they did a nice job mixing things up. Of course, it was the big throw to Kobe Hudson. It was a big play on that drive. Dylan Risk taking the opportunity to hit him downfield.
Risk going to keep this one. Found a little bit of space and lost the helmet, and Alakai Gilman came up, hit him, and the quarterback Risk lost his helmet on the play.
And of course, when the quarterback gives himself up like that on a slide, not supposed to hit him at all, but you get that head neck area, head down, helmet to helmet. I know we said it earlier, we can bring Dean in because he's the rules expert, but saw one earlier that got overturned.
Personal foul with targeting. Defense, number 11. The previous play is under review.
So the with targeting on the personal foul, as we'll go back to Dean Blandino, who we saw targeting overturned earlier in this game. What'd you think about that one?
So they announced with targeting. This is going to be a 15-yard penalty regardless for the late hit, but this is targeting. You can see him lead with the shoulder. You have a defenseless player. There's forcible contact to the head neck area. And again, they took the earlier one off. I'd be shocked if they take this one off.
Yeah, I'd be shocked too, Dean. And what did you think on that first one? I know the viewers haven't all had an opportunity to see that one, but that one was a surprise that one got overturned. I couldn't tell. Again, maybe we'll have a chance to look at it later in the broadcast, but maybe they were saying it wasn't contact to the head and neck area, but that one right there certainly looks like it, and his helmet goes flying off because of it.
Yeah, these officials took a look at one targeting that was wiped off the board earlier in this game, but we just heard from Dean Blandino. We'll see and if that's going to happen again, and it would mean a disqualification for Alakai Gilman, the transfer from Stanford, 40 tackles on the year in his first season at Utah. As the officials look this one over, and it is apparent it's going to remain targeting. And that is going to mean a disqualification for Gilman. So we're being told. We'll wait a moment for the official word as Gilman goes to the sidelines.
We've got a lot of young players in that secondary, except for Gilman and Vaughn, who are the 2 seniors. You got sophomore,
After review, the targeting is confirmed. Number 11 has been disqualified. UCF has elected to decline the 10-second runoff. The game clock will start on my ready. Number 10 for UCF to remain in the game.
Just heartbreaking if that's the last college football play you make. That's how it ends. We're now going to see.
The game clock will start on the snap.
So look at the clock sorted out here. As you can see, a devastated Gilman, but a new quarterback, E.J. Colson, who's the 3rd option at quarterback for the Knights, is going to come into this game. He made a couple of starts earlier in the year as well. Colson, plenty of time in the pocket, as all day. He still hasn't got rid of it. Now he's going to tuck and go. He gets hit hard right back in the line of scrimmage. Smith Snowden dropping the hammer.
Yeah, and Tim Harris, the offensive coordinator, really pulling out all the stops right here. See if they just want to win. Dylan Risk checks back in at the quarterback spot.
So 3 different quarterbacks we've seen in this game for UCF, 4 on the season. True of both teams. Risk over the middle. Finds an easy outlet, and Harvey was just tripped up by Snowden. If Snowden doesn't get him, Harvey's got all kinds of room.
Yeah, and Tim Harris, the offensive coordinator, who said to his young quarterback,
"Don't
get bored with success."
UCF. Game
and
clock.
Understand situational football. Of course, here, end of the half, you want to keep that drive alive. And, of course, Dylan Risk having the interception and the fumble earlier in the game. Like, you want to come back and you want to make a big play, but you got to be smart about it. And you can see right there.
Seconds.
Again, game situation here. There's going to be 28 seconds on the clock. Utah has all 3 timeouts remaining. So if Risk makes a mistake here with the ball around midfield, that would give Utah an opportunity to extend their lead. So I know UCF would love to try to tie this game or take the lead going into halftime, but they got to be careful here.
Yeah, no question about it. But I thought that last play was an example of him really kind of showing that maturity, just taking his check down, understanding the situation. See how risky you want to get here, though. No pun intended.
I was just going to say, it's hard to have a guy named Risk not take chances.
And you can't spell risk, at least the way he spells it, without R-I-Z. He's got that Riz. So Sigma. My son just kind of blurts those lines, Sigma and Skibbity and Riz all the time.
Glad you're picking up the Gen Z language right there.
String of nonsense.
3rd and 6. Risk. A lot of pressure. Steps into the throw. Nearly intercepted. Boy, Vaughn was there. It was intended for Hudson, but it was behind him. Incomplete. Harmlessly 4th and 6.
Boy, dangerous throw right there. And it's one where he thinks Hudson may be turning to the inside. He turns to the outside, and Vaughn, how many times we'd call his name tonight? He's kind of been everywhere. The ball just kind of goes through his hands. It's almost like Hudson didn't even try and work his way into that ball. A little unusual.
Still 23 seconds and 3 timeouts for Utah. Should they choose to make a go here? It's Singer who's going to watch this one take a UCF bounce at the 1. And will be down inside the 5 with 12 seconds to go. A 49-yard punt. And now Utah can't exactly just take a knee here with 12 seconds left, back up against the goal line.
Out of Melbourne, Australia, Mitch McCarthy. Look at that. It's that backspin on that thing, man. It's like your sand wedge hitting in from 100 yards out.
I was going to say, that was some Robert Smith. A little juice on that one. Spinning right back towards the hole.
Oh, I would have topped that thing, man.
Now, Utah will get the ball to start the second half after winning the opening coin toss and deferring. So, Utah, with 12 seconds to go.
Oh, yeah. You're going to take a knee.
You just got to make sure that you're not back at the goal line. They're just going to push forward there for Butari, who's going to keep on going and get a couple extra yards in the stat sheet. That is quite a 6-yard gain there that will take us to the end of the first half. A sluggish opening half for these offenses, and a couple of UCF miscues really opened the door for Utah, including the pick 6.
Yeah, no question about it. We talk about young players making decisions, especially in conditions like this. Got to protect the football.
All right, so that's going to take us to the end of the first half from Orlando. Now let's go to our LA studios with Mike Hill and Chris Peterson.
All right, fellas, one-score game between the Utes and the Knights right there. We'll get you out there for the second half momentarily. But right now, we're in our LA studios. Mike Hill, Chris Peterson hanging out with you. Utah and UCF not in the mix for a spot in the Big 12 championship game, but going into tomorrow, 6 teams still alive for the conference title, including Colorado, who hosted Oklahoma State earlier today. And they got the job done coming off that loss against Kansas. And Prime and his son Shiloh and Shador enjoying senior day. And did they really enjoy this? Because they saw the Travis Hunter show.
And it was his show on both sides of the ball today.
The pick there, and then gets a touchdown here. It's the 4th time this season he's had at least a pick and a touchdown in the same game. But he wasn't done getting into the end zone. Shador over 400 yards passing. And found Hunter 3 times in the end zone.
And this catch is so spectacular right there, battling. Look at the competitive spirit all the way down until he's on the ground. I'm telling you what, I don't know if he's a better receiver or DB, but he's darn good at both.
So he may have locked up the Heisman as the best college football player because they won 52-0 thanks to Hunter and Shador and that defense. 2 huge Big 12 matchups coming your way tomorrow. 3:30 Eastern is 16th-ranked Arizona State taking on Arizona. Then at 7:30, number 24 Kansas State battles 18th-ranked Iowa State. Still a lot to be decided on Fox. ASU, ISU, BYU, all important games. Everyone, ASU's got Arizona, BYU, Houston, Iowa State, K-State. Will all three of those teams win tomorrow?
I think common sense says yes, but I think with this conference, throw common sense out the window. So I don't think all three are winning. I'm not sure who's not.
Okay.
I think one will lose, if not two, just as crazy as this conference is. The one that I have my eye on is Iowa State versus Kansas State.
Right.
I think Iowa State's got a remarkable defense. Number one in scoring defense in the Big 12. They're number one in pass defense. But they're not great against the run. They're 15th in their conference, and they're not great at sacking the quarterback. And with Kansas State and Avery Johnson, that running quarterback, and Giddens, he might be the most underrated running back in the country. That it seems like people don't talk about him enough. I think he's going to be a really good pro. And so I think that's going to give those guys some problems. And it's going to be interesting to see this game. I mean, common sense tells you again, Matt Campbell, chance for a 10-win season, chance to play into the Big 12 championship, maybe get to the playoffs. He's not losing. But this is going to be a heck of a scrap tomorrow.
So much to be decided in this one. If ASU and Iowa State win their games, then they are in the Big 12 championship game. Outside of that, I don't know what to think when it comes to the Big 12. Don't ask me because it's too confusing. I've been here too long today. All right, I do know that Travis Hunter is creating some distance in the Heisman race right now. I do know that. But we're not going to tell the people at Boise State because they don't want to hear it.
I wouldn't.
Because Ashton Jeanty is still doing big things for his big-time team right now. We'll show you his huge day coming up. And Georgia already in the SEC championship game, but are they overlooking Georgia Tech before going?
They're certainly playing like they're already in.
Yeah, they are, especially at
in not a good way.
Not a good way at all. Sunday on Fox, two of the NFC's best go head-to-head as Kyler Murray and the Cardinals take on Justin Jefferson and the Vikings, or the Bucs battle the Panthers, or you got other regional action. Make sure you check your local listings for the game in your area, only on Fox. Like your Chris Peterson back with you. Georgia's already locked up a spot in the SEC championship game, where the Bulldogs look past the state rival Georgia Tech, though, tonight, as they playing in this one, and they're playing between the hedges where Georgia's won 30 in a row, Coach, but Haynes King and the boys don't care. They're up 10-0 here, and then Carson Beck's going to find Dominic Lovett, and Lovett's going to fumble, and Tech recovers.
Great defense, causing turnovers, stripping the ball.
They convert that into this. Haynes King, watch the athleticism right here by Jamal Haynes.
This is what the dual threat quarterback can do. I mean, that's so athletic buying time. Wow.
Tech's up 17-0 at the half. Bulldogs being shut out at home, but once again, they're a good second half team. 17-0 here in the third. Carson Beck, 2-yard score to Oscar Delp. They went for two, didn't get it. Right now, 17-6, Yellow Jackets with the lead. Number 14, Ole Miss, laying Mississippi State for the Egg Bowl and releases Bentley to fourth.
That's such a subtly great run. The cut that he makes off his left foot to get vertical, I mean, is really, really good.
89 yards in that game. Ole Miss the lead. They were down 14-10, and then Jackson Dart is going to find Caden Prescorn.
Beautiful.
Nice. It was a struggle. 26-14, though. They get the egg in that one. Oregon State, number 11, Boise State, Ashton Jeanty.
Give him the ball, Mike. Give him the ball.
Well, yeah, that's what they usually do because he makes things happen. 7-yard score right there. Another 200-yard gain for Ashton Jeanty.
Look at him just break these tackles. I mean, he is so hard to bring down one guy. If you give him space, he's going to make something happen every time.
Pretty much a two-man race for the Heisman right now. Jeanty, Travis Hunter. Boise State wins it 34-18. Of course, they're in the Mountain West Championship game. Colorado State trying to join them, taking on Utah State. They were down, but Braden Fowler and Nicolosi scores, and Colorado State up 35-30. 15 seconds left. Utah State, the onside kick. They got it. Aggies get it back. They're down 5. Bryson Barnes, though, trying to make something happen. The wrong thing happens.
Yep. Really good job by Jake Norvell and his Rams coming back to get this must-win game.
Must win because you don't want to miss the Mountain West Championship game because Colorado State's still alive for it. Boise State will host, we know that. And they'll either face UNLV or the Rams in that game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's next Friday on Fox. Buckeyes fans hoping Michigan's dominance over Ohio State is a thing of the past. What will Ryan Day have in store for the rival Wolverines? R.J. Harvey, always ready to run, always ready to roll. getting into the end zone. Their only score of the half, now 13-7 at the break. Coach, Nebraska bowl eligible for the first time in 7 seasons, trying to finish strong against Iowa. Dylan Raiola.
You can see that arm strength there off his back foot, getting his arm hit as well.
Found Corey Barney Jr. for 23. That led to this. Dante Dowdell into the end zone. The only touchdown of the game so far. We're going to the fourth, 10-3 Nebraska. Wisconsin trying to become bowl eligible. Need a win against Minnesota.
Going to be hard when Brosmer's throwing strikes like that.
Daniel Jackson, the recipient, 7-yard score. They're up 14-0 off the play action here. Brosmer, Jameson Gears.
Pretty. Attacking the ball.
Guess who's got the Paul Bunyan axe? The Gophers. Wisconsin not going bowling here. Hey, tomorrow, big noon kickoff in Columbus for Michigan, Ohio State. Simply the game. The most intense rivalry in college football coverage begins at 9 a.m. Eastern on Fox. We got a preview for Rob Stone and the fellas.
Thanks, Mike. We welcome you to frigid Columbus. The temperature at kickoff tomorrow expected to be below 30 degrees, and it has been a cold run for the second-ranked Buckeyes in this series. Tomorrow, it will be 1,827 days since they last beat the team up north. Glad you're with us. Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Mark Ingram, Matt Leinart, the coach, Urban Meyer here with you. Mark, what is the biggest storyline ahead of the 120th edition of The Game?
First of all, get off my notes, Stoner. I had that in my notes.
Too bad, man.
But no, this is about pride, man. It's been 1,800 and how many?
827.
Almost 5 years to this day. They've had to sit back and watch Michigan win 3 Big Ten titles. Sit back last year and watch Michigan go into a legendary, undefeated national championship season. It is time for Ohio State to reclaim the ownership of this rivalry. They're going to come out here tomorrow and drop that hammer on the Wolverines. That's what they're going to do.
I think the storyline is this. The Wolverines, in all reality, is they are a shell of themselves. You think they have more losses this year than the 3 years combined, previous 3 years combined, and they lost 4 of the last 6. You start thinking, how in the world in the transfer portal era does that happen? They knew they were going to lose 18 starters, 13 players to the NFL draft, but then you do your research, Brady, you find out why. The transfer portal was open last year, December 4th to January 2nd. The Wolverines were compete for a national championship, but there was uncertainty. Jim Harbaugh, was he going to leave or was he not? He took 4 coaches with him to the Chargers, including their strength coach. What player recruit would go there with all that uncertainty? As a result, they did not strike big in the transfer portal, and here we are today. The Wolverines are a shell of themselves.
And it's a good argument for 1 year of that portal and of recruiting, but what about the other years, the development, all those things? I still have a lot of questions why they are where they are, but for Ryan Day, that's what this game's all about. We're to this moment now where you look at what's happened the last 5 years, because that's the last time Ohio State beat Michigan. It's taken a toll on him, both personally and to his family. He's talked about that, been very open about that. Now is his opportunity to try to get back on top of the Big Ten, change the narrative as well, Matt, going into this match.
Yeah, and how does Michigan pull off the upset? It's obviously tough sledding. The spread keeps moving, but almost 3 scores. Keep an eye on a matchup in this game. Michigan's D-line with Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, 2 future first-round draft picks against Ohio State's offensive line, which is the weakness of that team. Can they impact the game at the line of scrimmage? We'll see.
If you want to see Mark Ingram's eyes water, great opportunity tomorrow for that. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Special start time, 9 a.m. Eastern. Tom Rinaldi, exclusive conversation with Buckeyes head coach Ryan Day. Vince Young, he'll take a unique look at old rivals, Texas A&M, plus Michigan head coach Sharon Moore sits down with our Jenny Taft. Mike, back to you.
See, the Buckeyes can get it done. Utah's defense getting it done in the first half. Zamaya Vaughn, the pick 6. Reason why they're on top, second half coming up.
Halftime in Orlando. Tonight's first half check-in is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. You'll look at, boy, the number that really jumps out, the 2 turnovers for UCF have been really costly in this game as we walk inside our broadcast booth here on a drizzly Friday night in Orlando. He's Robert Smith. My name is Trevor. It's cleared up. We're doing okay now. We're doing all right. The offenses have settled in a little bit. But, Robert, look at that first half, man. The turnovers so costly for both teams.
Yeah, definitely. And we talk about turnovers and their impact on games, really the number one determinant in games. And wins and losses, that turnover margin. And here, Lander Barton, who's had interceptions in the last 2 weeks, knocks that ball away from Dylan Risk. And then Risk, as you said live, throws to nobody, or at least nobody on his team on this next one. I can't tell if that thing slipped out or kind of why he made that throw that way, but obviously that was huge. And make no mistake about it, man, both of these teams, a lot of pride sitting at 4-7, a lot of seniors. You want to go out a winner.
That being said, when you have a running back like R.J. Harvey, like UCF does, with 68 yards and a touchdown run in the first half, the only score for the Knights. We're going to play some defense to start half number 2, with Utah winning the opening toss and deferring to the second half. We'll see Batari and this Utah offense come back out, trying to extend this 6-point lead.
Yeah, it's nice to see Bernard out there. I mean, he limped off the field in that first half, and he's back in that running back spot. Entered the day needing 78 yards to get to the 1,000 milestone. Got 51 on the day.
First and 10, well on his way at this point. Has to keep it going, but he's got to be out there as well. And flag on the first play of the second half. And I don't know if they got the snap off in time.
No, they did not. How do you do that?
Delay a game. Number 15.
I think Kyle Whittingham asking the exact same question that you just asked. How does that happen on the first play of the half?
I just don't know how you do that. I mean, you come out with the perfect plan, right? You make your halftime adjustments. You get the right personnel out there, and you see the look on his face. And he said it in the press conference a week ago. Felt like he was in the twilight zone with all the crazy things that have been happening with this team, trying to end 7-game skid here tonight. Not a good start in the second half.
Utah's all-time winningest coach. He's been a part of 251 wins. Sees his running back push forward, gains 3 on the 1st and 15, so 2nd and long coming up.
And of course, with the penalty, get into that 2nd and long situation that Addison Williams, a defensive coordinator who took over about a month ago for Ted Roof as a defensive coordinator. This is a situation he wants his defense to be in. They want to be better on 3rd down by playing better on 1st and 2nd down, trying to create some negative plays. Got it with the penalty. See what they can do here on 2nd.
Back to Bernard, who's got a gap. Pushing forward. It's going to be short of the 1st down marker, but a nice pickup on 2nd and long.
Yeah, it really was. And Keith Olson able to get up to that 2nd level of the defense. And you got guys like that, sophomore, 6'6", 311 pounds. You got big bodies like that that can get up onto the 2nd level and get in the way. Certainly helps that running game. Bernard, tell if he's shaking that shoulder out there. He's a tough guy, though. He'll be back in the field.
It's Mike Mitchell, who's back with Batari on this 3rd and 2. They go to Mitchell. And Mitchell works his way forward for a 1st down. Needed 3, got 4. So redshirt freshman, Florida native, Middleburg High School in Orange Park, comes up and a nice little homecoming 1st down.
Nice run there. And Mitchell, track guy, 10.81 100-meter dash. Can't beat Petros Papadakis. But he's got some speed.
It's not Robert Smith speed, but that's some speed. Hand off over to the left side. Again, they go to Mitchell, who's brought down by the big Lee Hunter in the backfield. You can't miss Lee Hunter in the middle.
Well, you can't miss Lee Hunter and Ricky Barber in that middle, man. You got 620, 630 pounds, depend on, what kind of Thanksgiving dinner they had yesterday. But talk about having some space eaters in the middle, man. Those guys are productive.
I was concerned at the hotel when they were starting to run out of food. I was hoping you and I were going to make sure we had enough, but our crew took great care of us. Pass over to the left side. Caught by Singer. Short gain, though. 5-yard gain.
Watch young redshirt freshman Jason Johnson break on that ball. And Addison Williams has done such a great job coaching these guys up on the defense, and he was ready. Again, he called the defense a year ago. Ted Roof became the defensive coordinator, and then Gus Malzahn decided to make that change. But get young players like that, recognizing so quickly, triggering on plays, excellent break. Future is bright for the Knights.
Utah just 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Batari scrambling and gets dropped in the backfield. Najee Kelly. A 15-yard loss.
Najee Kelly is an absolute beast. Watch him coming off the left-hand side of the screen right there. And he gets around Caleb Lomu, the left tackle, and he's got all kinds of speed. 6'5", 250 pounds from down here, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. What a tremendous player.
And a transfer from Miami came with Jakari Brown and Tim Harris on the offensive side, and Kelly on the defense has made an impact. It's Whittemore back to return a pretty good punt inside the 15. He takes it out to the 25 plus a couple more in a late flag. We'll sort it out when we come back, but Najee Kelly making a big tackle as we await the call on the field. See what that flag is.
Well, they faked us out with the music and everything, didn't they?
Just feeling the rhythm on a Friday night. Final day of the regular season, final weekend rather.
During the return, number 6 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
All right, so that's going to push UCF back a little bit. Now we'll step aside after the big Najee Kelly came in. Oh, my. Fox College Football is sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. On the campus of UCF in Orlando, Florida, the Knights on their senior night. Let's see if the band can help muster up some offense. R.J. Harvey doing all he can, but Dylan Risk has to protect the football, and he'll get a chance on 1st and 10 from the 17. There's the captain, Harvey, in the backfield.
Got some man-to-man opportunities here.
They give us to Harvey. On the read. When in doubt, go to RJ. Program leader in touchdowns for a career.
Boy, really fun to watch him as a player, man. Has it all. I love as well. He's got great throttle control, really. Kind of can go 0 to full speed really quickly. Back guys up, run over guys, shake guys. Got the full toolkit.
Another give to Harvey. Just looking for any kind of space. There's a late flag that comes in at the end of that play. Van Fillinger filling the gap as Lander Barton also was there.
Harvey doesn't look too happy. Probably going to be a hold. You might have heard conversation of the refs there. He was eavesdropping. Oh, they're going to pick it up? No, they're backing this thing up.
Kevon Barrett, our referee, coming over for the announcement.
Offense, number 52, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Okay, so Harvey heard correctly and didn't like it.
Yeah, and this is Caden Kittler, center, turning back here, and he gets those hands outside of the frame. And normally when you start a play like that, and then especially when you're on the back side of a play, that defender's going to try and fight away from you, and that official's going to see those hands up on the shoulder with a little bit of separation.
Yeah, tough part of that, really no impact on the play. Running out of time is Risk, high pass, and you know, that was a pretty heads-up effort of R.J. Harvey just to knock that one down and keep that from being any worse with Rabbit Evans in pressure.
Yeah, and Karene Reed ready to make the stop. And you're right. Rabbit Evans back there making a big play from that safety spot.
You got
brother of Young and Ace. I know he's one of your favorites.
You got to know where Reed is at all times. UCF has missed their last 6 third-down chances. They're not going to get this one either. Fillinger comes up for the tackle, short gain.
Well, I know.
Third down, and the Boo Birds are out.
Absolutely. They're here at the bounce house and not real happy about that. But no, you get 4th and 18, 4th and 15. There are just not a lot of plays, not a lot of good plays. Plenty of plays you can try, but you got to be smart. Only down 6 in a game like this.
There's no question it's been a disappointing season for UCF. Started 3-0. They dropped 7 of 8 coming into this game. Trying to end the season on a positive note, but Utah, with a 6-point lead, will have good field position. Little extracurriculars at the end of this one. Flag on the field at the end of the play here. John Randall Jr. was getting into it with the Utah special teams player in coverage. Look at Caldarella. Matt Clark in there too. So that's the conversation going on, and a little bit of chippiness. Final game of a disappointing year for both sides.
Well, this is that conversation. You know, we always talk about the second guy getting caught. We'll see which one did.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 30. 15-yard penalty, first down Utah. That is number 30's first unsportsmanlike conduct.
So that's John Randall Jr., the redshirt freshman, a converted running back, costing his team 15 yards at the end of this play. And that's going to push Utah back to 35. Fox College Football is sponsored by Modelo, now recruiting full-time fans. Please drink responsibly. Yes. Emphasis on the responsibly. They're having a good time here in Orlando. My goodness.
From the category of could have gone my whole life without seeing that. Butarski.
You're going to see it again.
0.0.
The camera was out. You know that's going to be trending somewhere soon. The bounce house trying to muster up some momentum for their team right now, but it's Utah with the 6-point lead. Utes taking over. Batari trying to get the pass through, but Ethan Barr says no way.
Ethan Barr, tremendous coverage on that one. On Carson Ryan. That's what you get out of your 5th-year senior. Tremendous player. He's up for this William V. Campbell Trophy, academic success, football leadership, scholar athlete.
Got to be alert.
Oh. And look at him. It's polite, too. It's what the coaches say, man. They want you to be polite off of the field, but flip that switch on the field unless it's not a player.
Chivalry is not dead. There to help the poor lady up. Looks like she's okay. She's tough. Again, cheerleaders are athletes. Short run there for Michael Bernard. Sets up a 3rd and 5.
And a rested Lee Hunter came charging onto the field. Big man, he's getting that stretch too. Look at him. Getting that signal in from the sideline. Lee Hunter's all charged up, rested up. And watch the legs of Batari.
Utah 120th in the nation on 3rd down this year, and tonight's been no exception to that stat. Swing pass, right side, and getting dropped. Bernard nowhere to go. Chasen Johnson chasing him down.
Well, a tremendous job by Chasen Johnson. Been calling his name a lot here tonight. True freshman out of Sanford, Florida. Again, that break on the football. Sean Pace, who's been forced into that nickel spot because of the injury to Braden Marshall. A lot of adjustments in that secondary, and we talk again about the job that defensive coordinator Addison Williams has done. It was great talking to him. The message that he said he could send to his players, he's like, how can I talk to you guys about resiliency if I don't show it?
Whistle blows the play dead.
Delay a game. It's number 34. 5 yards. 4th down.
just finishing that story on Addison Williams. We're going to have to do it here after the. Are they going to fake it? Nah.
No, I don't
I don't know. They're going to at least show the fake there. I don't know.
They're not going to do it on 4th and 9. 4th and 4 is another story.
I don't know why you run that guy back there, though, if it's not a fake.
It's Whittemore back to return. Sees it bounce to the 25, picks it up at the 15. Trying to get a little bit of momentum, but a good job in kick coverage. Calderoa shutting it down. So it's going to be Utah getting the ball back, trying to expand their lead here on the road. Fox College Football is sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. So much to do here in Orlando. So much to get dressed up for, wear. Or you could just dress as, is that a turkey or was that future KFC? I'm not sure. It's Risk, the quarterback for UCF with time in the pocket, looks over the right side, completes the pass for Kobe Hudson.
Well, exactly the way that it's supposed to look for Dylan Risk right there. That timing of the drop matched up perfectly to the route. Gets it out on time. And Tim Harris, again, the offensive coordinator, he's growing into his position. Example of it right there.
And off to Harvey. Waits for some space, gets it to the outside, and trucks his way forward. Elijah Davis made the stop, but that is some patient running back play for R.J. Harvey.
Boy, I love it right there. You're just setting everybody up. Got a bunch of flat backs, no leakage, and you're like, okay, and get that bounce going. I talk about that throttle control. He can get the full speed faster than the people trying to tackle him.
Harvey's going to be a blocker now, maybe a double pass. Whittemore looking downfield, incomplete. They tried to get the senior Whittemore a chance to make a throw, but on the trick play, no good. 2nd and 10.
Good coverage on the back end. Cameron Calhoun, freshman out of Cincinnati, Ohio, true freshman. Did a nice job staying home on the back end.
Risk rolling to the left, throws it, and completes it. Well, Whittemore couldn't make the throw, but he could make the catch, and it's going to bring up 3rd and short after a 9-yard gain.
Well, and this is one of those plays you just wonder, you know, young player right there, he just wants to try and fit that thing in there. And, you know, I had a coach say to me once, you know, you got more time than you think, you got less time than you think. And he said, I said, what does that mean? He said, you'll figure it out. And quarterbacks, they figure out when they can take chances, when they should run it.
Wildcat for Harvey. Harvey, the former quarterback, showing off the arm, gets into the tight end, Pittman. 18 yards, R.J. Harvey doing it all.
Oh, the all-time touchdown leader for UCF can do it all. Going the Wildcat, everybody expecting the run. We saw him stopped on a couple of 4th downs a week ago. He's able to get that throw out there to Randy Pittman. What a player.
You know, now I'm regretting not asking Gus Malzahn if he ever thought about just having Harvey take snaps at quarterback. Risk looking for Harvey. Ooh, dangerous pass, nearly picked off by Hall, incomplete.
I think Dylan Risk missed an opportunity to get the ball to Pittman there. Get a little high-low going. In that corner, you see Pittman wide open. And he forces that ball. Almost gets it picked off. Jonathan Hall almost had that one.
It's Montgomery in the backfield next to Risk. Utah showing blitz. Here it comes. Over the middle, incomplete. Tried to find Hudson on the slant. Didn't have a lot of time with Zamiah Vaughn there in coverage.
Well, bad footwork is usually the source of inaccuracy for quarterbacks, and that's the one thing you see with Risk is doesn't quite get himself lined up a lot of times on his throws, and we've seen some of those high throws, low throws, throws in front of receivers.
Risk has Hudson High pass, and Hudson just couldn't quite hang on. Hudson had space, but couldn't haul it in.
And here it is again, Dylan Risk. Just a little bit high on this throw, just gets on the fingertips, but that's one that Kobe Hudson should have. But Teo Johnson, the safety, may have impacted his ability to catch that ball. As he's bobbling it, he kind of catches Teo coming out of his peripheral vision. It's like he'd be taking a smack on that one.
They're going to go for it on 4th down. Kind of in no man's land here at the 36-yard line, even on 4th and 10. Risk with all kinds of pressure on him. Ball goes up in the air. It's behind him. That's a free ball out of bounds, and Utah's going to get it at the 49 with Zamiah Vaughn, among others, bringing the heat.
Well, how many times have we heard Zamiah Vaughn's name? The former quarterback makes another big play. Now the Utes get the ball back.
Little tense on the UCF sideline. Gus Malzahn, frustrating.
He's had enough. You got the equipment guy with the Mr. T starter kit holding on to somebody's chains. I'm guessing those aren't his chains. And you got Gus Malzahn chewing the gum. Tim Harris chewing the quarterback out. And, Gus Malzahn just kind of had enough of the whole thing right there. You guys figure it out. I'm tired of saying it.
It's been a tough year, to say the least. 4 different quarterbacks. Had to fire his defensive coordinator on the reverse. Going to the outside was Williams. Williams going to pick up the first down.
You saw Zacharias Williams get the carry early in the game as well. Talk about his emergence. Go with a little play action. Handoff. He's one of those kind of guys, man, where you just got to get the ball in his hands. And you see that a lot with younger receivers when they haven't quite figured out all the different positions, where they're supposed to be, what routes they're supposed to run, how they're supposed to adjust it. They just want to get the ball in his hands and just hand it to him. Be nice and simple until he figures things out.
And again, Williams, a freshman. He is showing he's got some real potential, and he's shown 3 pretty good games late in the season. Short gain for Bernard. He gets a yard. 75 yards on the night.
Oh, wow, just 2 yards short of 1,000. Took a long time to sort that one out. They're certainly taking their time on this thing. Fortunately, they didn't substitute and give UCF the opportunity for that slow defensive substitution like we've seen so many times this year.
That's Bernard. Will he get his 2 yards here?
Exree. Welcome.
After a gain of 2 by Exree.
You talked about in the last game, 17 tackles a week ago against West Virginia, and they just talk about the way that he's grown in his position. One heck of a player. If he's getting there, he's usually making the stop.
Third down and 7. I guess Bernard needed 3 more yards. So now 1 yard away from 1,000 on the season. He's already over 3,000 all-purpose yards for his career. Batari dropping back. Ooh, nice catch to hang on to that one. Well done, Dorian Singer. Pick up some yards on 3rd down, short of the first, but still a nice play.
Just a little arrow or whip route. Kind of got both of the players out there doing that, but he extends that one paw. We talk about those new gloves, man. Not very wet out here, but Singer gets that paw out there. Doesn't catch it cleanly, but he catches it. A little bit short here. 4th and 4 now for the Utes.
Much more manageable 4th and 4. Batari over the middle. Got it completed to Zacharias Williams, who's been his favorite target tonight. Just enough.
Going to be enough for the first down. Good job there. And then you see Batari throwing back across his body. What a grab there by the true freshman, as we talked about. But big play for Batari. You know, talk about this guy coming out of San Mateo, broke out of Tom Brady's records when he was in high school. He just got baller in him, man. You know, 5'10", not the biggest guy, but he makes plays.
Mike Bajakian saying we'd hire him in a second to put him on a staff as Bernard gets the carry, gets to his 1,000 yards.
The crazy thing about Batari, you know, Mike Bajakian, the offensive coordinator, was telling us, like, beginning of the season, up until like 3 weeks ago, he got no reps. Like, none. No scout team reps, nothing. Obviously, he knows the playbook well, but there's just no substitute for live reps. You know, you're trying to figure out the way that people move around you. Of course, quarterbacks are not getting hit in practice. It's tremendous what he's been able to do for this Utah offense here over the last week and a half.
Batari will throw, looking right side, incomplete. Late flag at the end of that play. He was trying to get it to Singer. Batari might have gotten hit.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a late hit. Might be on Lee Hunter.
You mentioned the no reps. Batari was still traveling with Utah as the emergency quarterback because of that understanding of the playbook.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 2, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Look, I know you want to get your hits in, and you know, big old defensive linemen, they say, I get there, I'm going to, that last little push right there, I don't know that the flag gets thrown.
He gave him an extra shove that he didn't need to give him.
Yeah, there you go.
That's pretty good explanation right there.
Was that Gus that said that? Who said that? I don't know who said that, but they said exactly what I was thinking. You just not a very smart play. No, Hunter, great player, but you got to understand the situation.
Fresh set of downs late in this third quarter. Williams gets the pitch on the end around, goes from right to left, gets flung to the ground, losing a yard on the play. Jason Johnson brought him down, and that will likely be the final play of this third quarter with Utah up by 6 and looking for more here on this drive.
Remember, Luke Batari, dangerous with his legs. Got the start in the season finale a year ago against Colorado. Only threw 10 passes in that whole game, but he ran for 2 touchdowns and came in relief of Isaac Wilson a week ago against Iowa State. Had a long run in that game. Wouldn't be surprised if we see his legs become a deciding factor here in the fourth quarter.
A lot of questions for both programs, both looking for an answer, and they got one more quarter to decide it in Orlando. Fox College Football is sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. Final quarter of the season for Utah and UCF in a one-score game. Post-Thanksgiving action on a Friday night on Fox. He's Robert Smith. I'm Trent Rush.
That's definitely a turkey. It's Tom Turkey. He's got the hat on and everything.
Misdirection on the first play of the quarter. Pass across the middle was dropped. Dallin Bentley couldn't quite bring it in with space over the middle on third down. Brings up third down, rather.
The levels throw there. You see if UCF's going to get a late substitution here because Utah is substituting. To keep everybody on the field. There's so many injuries on that UCF defense. There's not a lot of guys to substitute with on that back end.
Batari looking end zone. Did he hang on? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Utah. Landon King hauls it in for the score.
Well, how strong is Luke Batari's arm? Strong enough to make this throw behind the cornerback and before the safety can get over and make the play. And that's just understanding the timing, getting that ball out perfectly and getting it up where your guy, Landon King, can go up and make that catch. Landon King, Beaumont, Texas. Tremendous play. Tremendous throw from Luke Batari.
And Utah will go for 2. Atari rolling to the right, shovel pass underneath to Bernard, who gets in, but a flag.
I think when Landon King was going in motion here, he might have started headed back towards the line of scrimmage. Discuss this.
The officials trying to sort it out.
They might be on the defense.
The rule on the field, the two-point conversion was successful. There is no foul for illegal formation.
They pick it up, so that's 2 points for Utah, and now they go up by 2 full scores. 14-point lead for the Utes. Luke Batari able to find the junior from Beaumont, Texas, Landon King. A touchdown pass good. Utes up 14. Good. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Luke Batari got his first career touchdown pass as a college quarterback. No stranger to him. See the guy on the left? Oh yeah, Tom Brady. They're from the same town, same high school, Sarah. And Luke Batari owns all of the records, 8 of them, and pretty much better than Tom Brady in every category. So,
yeah, well, he does. I don't know if he can look as much like Richie Cunningham as Tom Brady did there, though. Try and win that battle.
One could say Luke Batari is the best quarterback to ever come out of Tom Brady's hometown. I think is a fair way to say just that.
But you know, in all seriousness, though, man, that throw there by Batari, like, you know, that's just understanding how to play the position as well. And it's so important as a quarterback not just to know the capabilities of your receivers, but to know the limitations of defenders. And that's just a perfect throw, taking advantage of those 2 things. The cornerback's inability to sink fast enough and the safety's ability to move out fast enough. Just perfectly thrown ball.
UCF will try to answer down 2 scores here in the final quarter. In the final game. One more note on Batari, too. I mean, just a wonderful person he is. As there's a delay a game here on the first play of the drive for UCF. But
we've seen that from both teams now, right?
Yeah, second time tonight that's happened. But Batari founded the Play for Prevention organization, and it's for teen suicide prevention. He lost his friend in 2017 and is doing something about it. Started a foundation several years ago, knowing he had a huge impact in his community at the high school ranks, and now here he is starting Division I college football game for the second time. Pitch to the outside. R.J. Harvey stays in play, and he's going to end up just shy of the marker. 9-yard gain.
True freeze option right there. That was an interesting looking play. Just kind of fake like they're going to go with a little toss. Fuse everybody, get those defenders stopped. And again, we talked about R.J. Harvey and his ability to accelerate, get him on the edge. It's hard for defenders to make up that ground.
I said 9, it was 14 after the loss of 5 yards in the first play. They go back to Harvey, who tries to spin out of traffic but gets bottled up and stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Rabbit Evans was there.
Well, down 21-7 now. Get that 3rd and short opportunity, and they're going to bring Jakari Brown in. His leg's always a factor, which may have a man-to-man opportunity with Whittemore on the right side.
3rd and short for Brown. It's going to be a keeper who's got a seam up the middle. Jakari Brown using the stiff arm. Gets tripped up at the 30. Smith Snowden, a touchdown-saving tackle, but a 38-yard run for Brown.
Oh, Jakari Brown with the burst right up the middle of the field. You can see one of his linemen getting up on that second level. He's trying to use that stiff arm to keep Smith Snowden at bay.
Quickly, they go to Montgomery. Gains a couple.
Hit by number 7, Van Fillinger.
Now we're going to get R.J. Harvey back in the field. Dylan Risk comes back in at quarterback, and Tim Harris, you see him there on the sideline. The offensive coordinator, again, took over the play calling duties for Gus Malzahn when he made the decision to fire Ted Roof as a defensive coordinator. Said he really wanted to kind of spend more time with that defense. and Addison Williams as defensive coordinator, so he gave up play calling duties.
Risk. Another dangerous pass gets broken up by Zamiah Vaughn, who's been all over the field tonight in coverage in that secondary.
Yeah, Beaumont representing, man. Zamiah Vaughn, he's from Beaumont as well. It's like Landon King, who had that last touchdown catch. And you stare down receivers too many times as a quarterback, and you're going to be staring at another interception before you know it.
3rd and 8. Trying to get movement from Utah. It's Pittman in motion. Pass to the right through the hands of Kobe Hudson.
This pass is incomplete. Intended for Kobe Hudson.
Yeah, and Hudson gets out of his break here and just, I don't think he's able to pick this thing up quickly enough as he makes a turn here. This is a catch he should make. And yeah, just perfectly thrown ball. I love the timing on that. Risk throws it before Hudson's out of his break, and you see Hudson smacking his helmet right there. That's one he'd like to have back, and here we are now, 4th and 9.
It's a couple times tonight that's happened to Hudson. Quick throw across the middle, broken up. Teo Johnson there for the deflection. The target was Whittemore, would have been short anyway, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. So the UCF effort comes up shy. The Utes get the ball back with a 2-touchdown lead in Orlando. It's time for our Pacific Life Games Summary. Pacific Life creating financial security for nearly 160 years. It's Kyle Whittingham watching on, and his team seeing his defense create some offense early on, gets the fumble on the mistake by UCF, leads to a field goal, and then this play, a house call.
Yeah, not sure that ball slipped out of Dylan Risk's hands. Of course, he had that early fumble, and then see Luke Batari right there connecting with Landon King. Tremendous throw.
First career touchdown pass. Batari back out under center, a handoff to Bernard.
With this run defense, UCF, normally the strength, this is the opportunity to step up. I want to try and force Utah to throw the ball here. And again, this is something Addison Williams, the defensive coordinator, talked about, that early down success. Try and create some negative plays to get the offense off schedule so that you can get them into an obvious passing situation on 3rd down.
2nd and 9, pass over to the right side, incomplete. We're talking about Luke Batari being a product of Sarah High School in San Mateo. Not just Tom Brady going there, Lynn Swan, Barry Bonds, the late John Robinson, all with Sarah ties.
Well, here we go. Luke Batari converted in the red zone last time. It's where the quarterbacks are judged. And he, once again, now in the era NIL where they earn the money. Of course, he's going to be making that transition to coaching after this.
He might already have a job offer. Good pass over to the left side, able to get it to Zacharias Williams, who goes out of bounds after picking up the first. A 15-yard completion on 3rd and long, and Batari settling in.
And we talk about the development of Zacharias Williams. Tremendous route here. And, you know, you get in these wet conditions especially, you really got to start shortening your strides, and you really have to drop your hips when you want to make those breaks. That's exactly what Williams did. Chop those feet, drop the hips, drop the weight. He was able to make a good turn, and the ball was right there. Great timing from Batari.
Bernard blasts his way forward to midfield.
That's going to be over 1,000.
Yeah, up over 1,000 now. 6 yards on that game. A great career for Bernard. 7 years in the program. Over 3,000 all-purpose yards. 1,000 on the season on the ground. And he's not flashy, just reliable, intelligent, and gets the job done.
A Long Beach kid, too.
Swing pass right side. Williams Gets out of a tackle, then uses that stiff arm for the first down. Boy, a lot to like about Williams.
Yeah, and we saw him carry the ball earlier in the game. We saw the tremendous route the last time. It's a little bit loose, that ball security, but you could see the run after catch ability. Really got it all as a young receiver, and something Mike Bajakian talked about. And as they say so many times about young receivers getting acclimated to the offense, and see the more that they learn, the more that they can do. You just got to try and find a way to get that guy the ball.
Hand off to Bernard, who gets hit in the backfield. Slow developing, and, well, you can't give Ladarius Tennyson and Dalen Dotson any time. They get right there.
We saw Tennyson make a play like this earlier in the game. See him coming down from that safety spot. You can see why Addison Williams likes to get him up near the line of scrimmage, because he just diagnoses so quickly and such a sure tackler. Down here in Florida from Rockledge. Started off at Ole Miss.
Second and 11. Batari now showing off the legs. Works his way forward.
Well, I said earlier in the game, as we started this fourth quarter, that we might see more of Luke Batari's legs, and I'm guessing here Mike Bajakian, the offensive coordinator, you're thinking you don't want to expose him to too many hits earlier in the game. May take some of those chances right now, but you'd rather that your running backs are taking that risk with Batari being your fifth quarterback.
Batari has a hard time handling the snap, though, and on 3rd and 7 gets dropped at midfield. Matthew Alexander for the finishing touch.
Well, don't turn a bad play into a disaster, and I think Luke Batari did it right there. Look, he took his eyes off of that thing. That's on him, but he doesn't try and pick it up and make a play. Situational awareness. So you just got to cover this one up and chalk that one up to the defense winning. Punt that thing away.
Jack Bomeister, Michigan State transfer from Australia. The punter back to return is Trent Whittemore.
White line, you have to get behind the white line.
Fair catch called at the 14-yard line where the UCF drive will begin, and we'll see what Gus Malzahn and Tim Harris can come up with, but it's all Utah tonight. They're up by 2 scores. Knights running out of time. Fox College Football is sponsored by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. New quarterback into the game for the Knights. E.J. Colson is Gus Malzahn. The end of a frustrating, disappointing season, making another quarterback change. Playing for the 3rd time this year. We saw Colson for a snap earlier. And after Dylan Risk went 10 for 26, 107 yards, and missed his last 6 attempts. Another change under center for the Knights, and that's been the story of their season. Colson rolls to the right, throws to the left, and completes it. Able to get it to Evan Morris. 9-yard gain.
Yeah, and Tim Harris, the offensive coordinator, really just trying to give a lot of looks tonight. Just trying to get that defense thinking, and sometimes you get Risk out of there, they think automatically the quarterback's going to run.
And here's a big run up the middle. R.J. Harvey, who sheds a tackle and gets to the 40. Boy, he just drops down, and it's tough to stop that. He goes 17 yards.
He's just a different kind of cat, man. That's just, he's one of those guys. Can really do it all.
Puts him over the century mark on the night. Tried to high step his way through. Still gets 5 before Lander Barton tackled him.
You just kind of want to wear this Utah defense out, but you want to be able to take some shots here. And Kobe Hudson, right side of the formation, along with Jared Baker. Maybe one of those two guys. No, Utah loves to play man-to-man defense, leaving those guys on an island.
Olsen looking to throw. Gonna launch downfield, left side, incomplete. And a late flag. There it comes with Elijah Davis all over Chauncey Magwood. Davis doesn't like it.
Yeah, Elijah Davis not very happy with it, but it looked pretty clear that that was going to be interference, just kind of the placement of the ball and the way that Davis was grabbing the entire way there.
Defense, number 9, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Elijah Davis, just a sophomore out of Winter Haven here on the coverage, and they try and go with the double move with Chauncey Magwood. You see him grab there. He gets his head back. He grabs and he pushes. Still has no idea why he got a flag.
That's like a 1 jersey per player, please. Meanwhile, Colson trying to spin out of trouble. Lander Barton hanging on, though, for dear life. And Colson, fortunate it wasn't worse, but still a big loss on the play.
Boy, Lander Barton, man, that guy just makes plays. And Fillinger, we talked about him. He's been banged up. The mayor of Sac Lake City. But Barton, 3 weeks in a row now. Interceptions the last 2 weeks and had the forced fumble earlier today.
Rolling to the left, Colson. Another stop in the backfield. This time, Rabbit Evans there. So 15 yards between those 2 plays lost for UCF.
Morgan Scally, the defensive coordinator, he really knows how to put his guys in positions to be successful and has them understand what to expect out of certain formations and looks, understanding personality of opposing play callers. That's why those guys are always in the right spot.
3rd and 25 with 5 minutes to go. Pittman with the catch. Able to complete it. He gains 16 yards.
Well, of course you're going to go for it here. I mean, you're really running out of time. You need 2 scores. If you don't get one here, really difficult time coming back.
Just saw Morgan Scally, the head coach in waiting, is going to be a part of all the big decisions, no matter what. Whether we see Kyle Whittingham come back or not. And he'll decide he's going to step away after the season to distance himself a little bit and have a clear mindset on what he wants to do. 4th and 9. Colson, another tackle in the backfield. Corene Reed drops him.
Corene Reed, you called it, partner. Miles Montgomery is going to go in for the block, but he goes in a little bit low. Corene Reed, as we see offensive players do so many times, Reed's going to say, okay, I can do that too. A little bit of hurdling, gets up over the top. Barton there, of course, around the ball as well. You knew Morgan Scally again. Talk about teams, and you never sacrifice culture. You always want to maintain the culture, and the culture of this team is man-to-man defense, and one of the reasons that you do that is so that you can blitz in situations like that, not just to get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback quickly, but sometimes to get home.
Reed has had a great game for a player that began his career as a walk-on, making an impact. Micah Bernard, short game.
Start burning those timeouts. That Utah defense tonight. It's a pretty good night, man. Interception return for the TD. Fumble recovery. 3 fourth down stops.
The game clock before end.
You wondered coming into the ball game, 2 4-7 teams, what kind of performance were you going to see, right? And you know, that's one of the things that Kyle Whittingham talked about with this program. He said Morgan Scally is Utah. He's been here 17 years. He's been at Utah 17 years, and you knew you were going to get the best out of those players tonight.
Defense has not been the issue this season for Utah, to say the least. And Scally is prepared. Whenever he gets the job, he's ready for it. And is going to continue that culture that has been built in Utah. And hearing from the Utah program, you know, they talked about the week of practice. You would never know this was a 4-win team that was not bowl eligible coming in the way they competed. And that's a testament to what's been built at Utah and the kind of players that they have brought in and the culture that's been cultivated. Flag it on the play here, so short game, but we'll see what the officials end up calling. Talk about Scally, who played at Utah in the early 2000s, part of this whole run that Utah has had going back to the Urban Meyer days.
Illegal motion. Offense, number 89. That penalty's decline. 3rd down.
Yeah, to your point about this program and the culture, and talking to Kyle Whittingham the other day, we don't know what decision he's going to make, but so what are you most proud of? And said, you know, for a lot of players that come through the program, it's the first time many of them have ever gone to college, let alone the first degree for their families. Coaches truly change lives. That's where Kyle Whittingham lives.
Back to Bernard. Struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage inside of 4 minutes remaining. UCF will call a timeout. They have 1 remaining, so 4th down. They'll get the ball back.
Timeout. UCF. Their second half.
Here's Scally from his time as a player, All-American at Utah. And then you mentioned the 17 years as an assistant coach. And this defense, top 5 in the country 3 times back in July, named head coach in waiting. It's not often done. It's not totally unusual, but it has certainly helped in the recruiting process and talking to players, knowing what Whittingham has had for 20 years is going to continue with Scally right there through all of it.
Yeah, and what's interesting here, or at Utah, is that they're also going to be making a decision. It seems like Mike Bajakian was named the interim offensive coordinator when Andy Ludwig was relieved of his duties a few weeks ago. But part of that process, Kyle Whittingham said that Scally was going to be a part of any decisions that were made from an offensive coordinator standpoint.
High snap is recovered by Baumeister. The Aussie rules style punt will trickle to the 10. It'll be stopped there. Great final weekend of the regular season. Tomorrow on Fox, it's a full slate of some of the oldest rivalries in college football. It starts with Michigan taking on second-ranked Ohio State on Big Noon Saturday. Then Arizona State and Arizona square off for the Territorial Cup, followed by Farmageddon between Iowa State and K-State, all on Fox. And good luck looking at the Big 12 standings and figuring out who's even going to be in the Big 12 title game. So many different tiebreaker scenarios. Colorado gets a big win today, though.
Well, just off the top of your head, can you give me all of the tiebreak scenarios?
I have it. Look at all those 2 losses, 3 losses. The scenarios.
Are you ignoring me? You're ignoring me on live TV. You're making me look like an idiot.
The closest thing I can say to understanding the scenarios is if everybody wins out, Arizona State and Iowa State would be the matchup. But, Robert, we've been watching college football all year. We've been watching college football our whole lives. When has anything ever just gone as it's supposed to go?
Absolutely, and especially in this era. I mean, it's as different as it's ever been. I think the wildest year, you go back to 2007 when you had all those crazy scenarios at the end of the year. But with the portal, the way that it is, teams are just so different year to year.
Intercepted! And there's the finishing touch! High stepped into the end zone. Smith Snowden, a pick 6. Second of the night for the Utes.
Snowden, touchdown Utah.
Well, I said it earlier, you stare down receivers long enough and you'll be staring at somebody taking it the other way. He drops back here, and Snowden just saw that the whole way. And that's coaching, man. You get guys expecting that late throw over the middle. You expect the rest of the secondary to be able to do their job, force the late throw. You know where that check down is going to be, and you get somebody there in front of it.
The Utah native Smith Snowden, Sky Ridge High, gets his second interception. It was the 2022 Mr. Football, just like that man, Morgan Scally, back in his days as a player in Utah. And Snowden just read it brilliantly and cruised into the end zone. And you just wonder, for Kyle Whittingham, is this it? Is this the last time we see him? He said that no matter what happens record-wise this season, that coming back for another year to get vengeance on a tough season, that wouldn't be enough. It'd have to be more than that.
Yeah, and he says he's not going to do what's best for him. He's going to do what's best for the program and honestly assess that. I mean, he's just such a competitive guy. You know, we called the Iowa State game a week ago, and, you know, he comes into the meeting room and he's got his towel draped over his shoulders looking like he had just fought, 10 rounds of boxing. And I guess he had just gotten off of his exercise bike. Apparently he's challenged Joel Klatt a couple of times. Like, you've seen Joel's profile on there. Joel came in for a meeting, and Kyle Whittingham said, "I just kicked your butt." He's just a competitive guy, man.
Fair catch is called. And you think about this Utah season, what might have been so many people with expectations for them to win the Big 12. They win their first 4 games, beat Oklahoma State, who was actually ranked 12th at the time. But they
Well,
start
I don't know. What does that ranking mean now?
Exactly. But they were 12th at the time, but then proceeded to lose their next 7 games. 5 of the 6 losses were by 1 possession. Of those, 5 were by 3 points or less. Nearly beat BYU, nearly beat Iowa State, at Houston, TCU. I mean, these are all so many tight games. But Utah just ended up on the wrong end of it. Colson scrambles out of the pocket and gains a few yards.
Well, but the reason that the program has been so successful so consistently is because Coach Whittingham would be the first one to tell you, no excuses. Because you know why? Nobody cares. You got to go out and win football games, and you have to get players that can bounce back.
Think about the questions with this Utah program, and obviously the big one is at head coach. What about Cam Rising? Does he return for another season? Does Utah go out and try to bring another quarterback in through the portal? They have a lot of freshmen and younger players in tow. Isaac Wilson notably. Shuffle pass gets through. That's going to be a first down across midfield. Miles Montgomery on the reception.
Yeah, but it's just so wild when you think about just everything that happens now in college football. Early signing period begins on the 4th. The portal opens on the 9th. All kinds of craziness coming here in the month of December.
E.J. Colson runs out of bounds. And on the UCF side, clearly not happy the way this season has gone. I mean, they started 3-0, and they're on their way to losing 8 of their final 9 games. As Gus Malzahn looks on, it's been an upsetting season on a lot of different fronts. Colson slips through one tackle, but isn't going to get through that one. Dallas Fakalehi right there for the tackle.
Another one of those true freshmen. Impact player on that defensive front for the Utes. We've seen so many times. Another big stop. Going to be 3rd down for UCF when we get back.
Inside our Los Angeles studios, Mike Hill along with Chris Peterson. Final full weekend of the college football regular season and several huge implications on the line for several teams this weekend. So, Coach, give me a team that should be on upset alert.
I got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish coming to town to play the USC Trojans.
Wow.
Outside of Notre Dame's Week 2 inexplicable loss to Northern Illinois, they've really played some really outstanding football. Their defense has been tough as nails. Riley Leonard, the quarterback, has done damage with his arm and his legs. So they've really taken care of business since then. But their strength of schedule is hard to read. They don't play in a league, so that's always a hard gauge. And USC has talent to match up with these guys in most places. They replaced their quarterback, Jade Mayava. They're on a 2-game win streak. So Notre Dame needs to bring their fastball. If they don't, they could be in trouble tomorrow.
Or we have the luck of the Irish may have run out. We'll be with you all day tomorrow for plenty of college football action right here on Fox.
Final 2 minutes of the season for Utah and UCF. And here in the last week of the college regular season, just want to take a moment to give a special shout out to some of our crew back in Los Angeles. Our technical director, Jeff Backerman, audio, Mike Del Tufo, engineers, Gabe Wynn and Jeff Gascott, Foxbox, that's Lev. No last name necessary. Replay operators, Daniel, Coniar, Doc, Brendan Mylove, Nick Nat, Jeff Spidey Talent, our producer, Brad Weimer, director, Derek Manning. AD is Ian Martin, and our broadcast associates, Charlie Taft and Sam Oliver. The final couple minutes of this game. It's been fun spending the season. Tom Baldry, our stat man, Grayson Manley, spotter, and hung out with so much of our crew on the road last night for a Thanksgiving dinner. So much more college football action still ahead, especially tomorrow on Fox, which is going to be just an amazing day, especially in this wild Big 12 conference as E.J. Colson on 4th down scrambles for a first.
You're talking about the craziness of the portal, and I think UCF fans know all too well that things didn't work out with portal transfer with KJ Jefferson this year. Just like the NFL, you better make the right decision when it comes to the franchise player at that quarterback position.
This is a free play for Colson, incomplete, but that's going to be an offsides against Utah. Just so much uncertainty. You would love to say,
defense,
okay.
Number 40, 5-yard penalty, first down.
You'd love to say, okay, you have these players, these young guys have gotten experience, they're going to be back, what are they going to contribute next year? That just doesn't exist in college football anymore. It's so much turnover year to year, and one would have to imagine maybe some drastic changes at UCF after a season like this.
So they're going to evaluate everything. Obviously made changes with the play callers late in the season. Some changes with the players, obviously.
Wilson pass to the right side. It's R.J. Harvey, and we'd be remiss. I know we've talked about R.J. Harvey a lot tonight, but a special talent, an important fixture in Orlando for what he has meant to UCF football. And it's a tough night for UCF, but he's had another wonderful game.
Yeah, he certainly has, and he's accepted the invite for the Senior Bowl, along with B.J. Adams, who finished the season injured. But he's a tremendous player, and he's definitely going to be playing on Sundays a year from now.
Looking end zone incomplete. Harvey, 20 carries tonight, 119 yards, 6 straight 100-yard game. It's a career high for him. Just the second UCF player ever to have 6 straight 100-yard games. He's done it 9 times this season. It's like, you know, you talk about Ashton Genty, he's going to get 125 every time out. R.J. Harvey's getting 100 every time out.
Yeah, and of course he broke Kevin Smith's record tonight, all-time touchdowns. And from right here at Edgewater, so cool that he's a hometown guy. Probably dented his wallet a lot having to buy tickets, but that's okay.
Outside the Pittman. Completed pass from E.J. Colson. Inside of the final minute, you know, for so many guys, too, on a play like this, you know, we talked about the teams maybe wanting to make some changes. These players using an opportunity maybe to showcase their talents. Colson looked like he was going to try to drop kick that, ends up keeping it on the ground for a first.
So Australian rules, you know, everybody's got an Australian punter, so kind of watching them in practice.
Gus Malzahn not throwing in the towel on the season yet. Wants to get one more score before it's over.
Final of the game. 30 seconds.
And Morgan Scalley would love to get a stop.
And E.J. Colson, of course, being a true freshman. Again, you know, there is no substitute for live reps, especially when you're a quarterback, because quarterbacks are not taking the hits in practice. You want them running the operation. You want them getting through reads. You want them commanding the huddle. Just all of that is part of building quarterbacks and building the number of players that you have available. And clearly you could see from Gus Malzahn not happy. It appeared, Dylan Risk, early. He wants to evaluate these guys. Does it matter to you Because the answer, if you're a football coach, you're a football player, it always matters. Everything that you put on film, every time you step on that field, it means something.
I mean, when Colson got the job, Malzahn described him as he's the guy, he had the it factor. Set him apart from KJ Jefferson. He was the first one to get a crack. And then there was Jakari Brown. He kind of went a Colson in the air, Brown on the ground deal. Brown's really stayed in that role much of the season, but KJ Jefferson, who started the year as a starter, the transfer from Arkansas, holds the all-time record at Arkansas for completion percentage in a season. Bunch of yards. Didn't work out in the change of scenery.
See the Kool-Aid guy in the card there? Play call.
Another penalty prior to the snap, so there might have been some action up front. Now the officials trying to point out who it was on.
False start. Offense. Number 69. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Das ist nicht gut. Paul Rubel, the German. 6'9". Fifth-year senior on the penalty. Sehr schlecht. Very bad in German.
First and goal here. Colson looking end zone. Trying to find Pittman, but it was too high.
Boy, Pittman's a rare talent. 6'2", 225-pound sophomore, and talked about how he's going to be a leader in the future. That's what Tim Harris told us, and he can elevate, but it's not quite that much.
Yeah, Tim Harris
had to be 6'5" or a 50-inch vertical to get that one.
This is the 13th play of the drive. Maybe the best one for UCF. It will be too little too late regardless, but they'd still have to get one more score. Colson evades the tackle in the backfield and takes it off the edge and out of bounds. John Henry Daly shoved him out. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 6.
And again, for people wondering, what does it matter? What does it mean? It means everything, right? This is what you do. You're a coach. And obviously, you're Kyle Whittingham. You're like, guys, this stop is as important as any stop was in the game. And, of course, for UCF, these points would be as important as any.
Every rep matters. Looking end zone, and there's a one more score for R.J. Harvey. No one in UCF history has been in the end zone more, and R.J. Harvey on senior night gets one more to his talent.
When you look at Colson, and the defender draped all over him, he sees his outlet. R.J. Harvey makes one quick move to step in, and adds to that record touchdown total.
It's been a miserable night for UCF. It's been a miserable season. One silver lining has been this young man, R.J. Harvey, a sensational career, a sensational season. Over 100 yards, 2 scores tonight, the only 2 touchdowns for UCF. Left it all on the field.
Yeah, he certainly did. And you said before, Orlando's own, and what a journey he had. Thought he was going to play quarterback. Started off at Virginia and then came back home to play running back. He had the knee injury in 21. Just what a tremendous player in that all-around game. But to a man, the coaching staff said the greatest thing about him is he's a better person than he is a player. And ultimately, that's what it's about. When you're into coaching, and obviously these guys get paid a lot of money. We all know that. But what I love about these coaches is, they're really trying to impact players' lives. You want to win games while you're doing that, but in talking to Kyle Whittingham, I wanted to share my quote. Here we go with the onside kick.
UCF 0 for 2 on onside attempts this season, make it 0 for 3. It's recovered by Dallin Bentley. 17 seconds left.
And I was going to say, it's not my quote, but my favorite quote, and I wanted to share with him. And, you know, coaches talk, but there are some coaches that live it, and they live it with their program, and they're really trying to impact lives. And saying is that a good coach makes you a better player, and a great coach makes you a better person. And I think that's the way that man has run this program from day one. And you can't fake that sincerity, right? It's like players don't care what you know until they know that you care, and he certainly has shown that he cares about his guys, everyone on the roster.
If this really is it for Kyle Whittingham, finishing the season in a game with no extras, nothing else but win the ball game. No one's going to a bowl game. His team worked all week, got the job done tonight. Utah wins it by 2 scores and really dominated much of the evening as Whittingham completes his 20th season as the head coach at Utah. Luke Batari gets the win in his 2nd career start as Whittingham going through the handshake lines, and will decide this winter if he's got 1 more, 2 more, or if he's done. You know he doesn't want to leave right now, RJ Hart.
No, I remember sitting my last college game, and I think that's another thing about this. You talk about all these seniors. Most of these guys, this is the last time that they're going to suit up. And that's a big deal, man. Here's just special times in your life, and I don't think there's any game in the world that teaches desire and dedication and commitment, teamwork, discipline, the way that this game does. Literal blood, sweat, and tears that you shed with your brothers out on that field, man. It's something different. His playing days aren't over, but his playing days here are. You can see the emotion. I get it.
It's special when you rep your school. The culmination of a career for many. Tonight, the culmination of a season for Utah ends in a victory. 28-14 over UCF. We'll be back to wrap up in Orlando after this. It's time for tonight's Friday night spotlight presented by KFC. It's finger licking good, and spotlight the Utah defense tonight. Scalley's bunch, 2 pick sixes tonight.
Yeah, Zamiah Vaughn from Beaumont.
Snowden stepping up, just read it, jumped the route, and said thank you very much.
That was a tremendous play, and that, again, we talk about Scalley, what a great job that he does with the defense, and that's just telling your defenders, watch for that late check down. And he was just watching the quarterback the whole way, and it paid off big dividends for him.
Tough season for both these clubs. For UCF, obviously RJ Harvey upset, but a feel-good W for Utah to close out the season. For our entire broadcast crew, we say thank you for watching Big 12 football on Fox. For my partner, Robert Smith, my name is Trent Rush. Hey, don't forget, Big Noon kickoff starts an hour early tomorrow, 9 a.m. Great day of football ahead on this Thanksgiving weekend. Thanks for being with us. See you tomorrow. More college football on Fox.